Yeah, that way, if you ever miss anything or if you have to step out or something, like came in late or anything, um, you can always go back and watch the recording. All the recordings that you all who are new missed, you can go back and watch if you haven't watched any already. There's always some gems in there somewhere where a lot of times it'll be something like what something came up last week. I forget what it was. I don't know if it was in here or in the Twitter space. But somebody asked me a question, and an old exercise I hadn't done in like 8 years came to mind to share with them. And so I mean, just stuff like that comes up all the time where it's stuff I forgot about. It kind of comes up. So it's a lot of value in those in these Zooms, but in the ones that are already recorded that you may have missed. But so usually what we do in here is like a question and answer kind of thing of like um, different practices and things that you're doing in your life, the different disciplines that you have, um, whether it be, writing down your dreams and learning to interpret your dreams, or whether it be the concentration exercise, or whether it be the visualization exercise from the visualization course that we've been doing here in the Zooms for the mentees, or whether it be your own meditation practice or breathing technique, or like Kez is really into astral projection and lucid dreaming, so he has a lot of questions about that and shares his
No
experiences. And
quarter.
yeah,
Bam.
astral dynamics. Okay, you got it. It's a lot in
Yup.
there. So like you'll come in and just kind of share um what your experience is the last week with your exercises and things, and that you're practicing with, and then any questions that you have, or I'll give any insight on maybe some adjustments to be made, or some new perspectives or things to focus upon to go deeper with those, in any way that I can. I'm not out here claiming to know everything, let alone anything. But so just kind of that can be any kind of exercise that you did or discipline that you have. But so we'll kind of go through with the people who have already been in the mentor program for a little while and share their exercises and experiences and things, and then one at a time. You don't have to wait for everybody to go through, but also all of the new people who are here, if you want to just kind of come on and introduce yourself and kind of what got you onto your own spiritual journey, or whatever you want to share. You don't have to share that. Just whatever you're, maybe mainly whatever you're focusing on right now. Um, and then if you've done any of the exercises from like the Dream Interpretation Masterclass or the Keys to Success course, or anything like that, or anything other thing you've shared, any breathing practices or anything. Santana, she's in the building. Yeah. So yeah, let's start with that. And but one of the new people want to come on and introduce themselves, and or if somebody else wants to start, I think Kez seems pretty excited about
Always excited.
yeah, yeah. Now you got that astrodynamics book. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Ooh, about that astral dynamic. Man, like I never tried astral projection while sitting down. And my first time ever trying it, man, like I was surprised because like just like before when I was daydreaming, when I imagined myself into a different setting, I mean it was real, like it was like I was in a dream, like a real dream. And so I don't know if I had to remind myself or something about that, but it's just I couldn't. I mean, I could have, but I didn't astral project. It was my niece. Oh my gosh, she went outside on the porch, bouncing that basketball. Man, that messed me up so hard. Like it was three big booms,
Yeah.
and that kind of got me. Like, yeah, I wasn't used to that, and yeah, and a little something else happened at school, and I had a dream about it, and I interpreted this dream myself. But yeah, so let me just share this real quick 3 minutes. So the
Yeah.
thing that happened at school was all of us were supposed to go into the cafeteria, but there was one door open, even though there was four doors. We normally go inside two doors, leave out two doors. So there was one door open. There's the lunch lady there. She was dismissing people one by one. I was in line, but people kept pushing me from the front, back, and to my left. So I said, forget it. I got out of line, and then she was individually releasing people when there's like 40 people waiting in line. So I said, forget it. I went out on the side, went into the do not enter door, went into lunch. She pulled me aside and she was saying follow me. I was like, hold up, wait a minute, real quick. Before I follow you, can you take my opinion into account? All right, can you just let me explain myself? She's like, no, no, I'm an adult. You got to listen to me. I got way more years of experience. You got to listen to me. And I was like, hold on. You want me to listen to you? You got to listen to me. And she's like, no, I'm an adult. I've been teaching way more than you was even alive. I got way more experience handling kids. And I said, obviously you don't. You're taking the kid's opinion into account. So like, no, you don't. And so then after that, me and her got into it. I was getting a little mad after they took me up into the office because she still wasn't listening to me. So then after that, I ended up cussing a little. And so then people in the office, they called my mom, asking my mom, is everything all right at home? And like, am I being disrespectful at home? And my mom, she already knows I wasn't not disrespectful at home. She said so many times, I'm the most respectful boy she has. But anyway, when the lady called home, my mom got mad. She got mad at me because she's taking the office lady's perspective into account and trying to, how do I say this, and trying to live off that perspective. And I'm explaining to her, you don't have to let that affect you. If she wants to think that I'm a kid that acts like that at home, no, you don't have to let that affect you at all. And so then, just like my mom, that was just like the lunch lady. I was being completely honest. I said that day, I'm gonna be brutally honest. Right before I even went to school, and so then I said to my mom, see, just like her, you're not taking my opinion into account. I mean, you're listening to me, but no, not really. You still think you got more wisdom and stuff like that. But the worst thing that really got me cracking up was he said, I know you're on your own little holy journey that she goes to with a guy named Tarak on every Wednesday, and that cracked me up real hard. But anyway, I had a dream on this. I was taking a shower. I was naked, and one of my friends came in, and so then she was surprised, and I was asking her, "What are you, what are you surprised for? I'm taking a shower. Of course, I'm gonna be naked." But then she was asking, "Is anybody in here?" And I also kept saying I was, but she didn't hear me. So I said, "Beat it." She left. She got a friend. Came back knocking on the door again. I said, "I'm in here." They came in there anyway. And I said, and then the other girl was surprised too. And I said, once again, I'm taking a shower. What do you expect? I'm going to be naked now. Beat it. But for some reason, the second time I was sitting down, how I'm sitting right now, and
Yeah.
I was breathing, my mouth trying to breathe while the water was hitting me. So I
Mm.
was doing that, and I kind of interpreted this myself because I know the bathroom's all about releasing. And those two females at first, the aspect I thought of them was both cute, but I was like, "Come on now, don't do that." So then I was like, "Yeah, okay." First one is funny. The second one is nice. So then my funny and nice aspects, those aspects went away because I was naked. So that's one. That means I'm honest with myself. And two, I was in the bathroom. That means I was releasing. So I was releasing honesty within myself. But but the funny and nice person that when I was releasing it, I don't think that was present. That's why I was telling them to beat it. And yeah, that's the conclusion I came up with. I think that was longer than 3 minutes, but yeah.
That's okay. It's okay. Beautiful. So the things that happened with the lunch lady and your mom happened in real life?
Yes, real life.
Okay. Okay. It wasn't until halfway through that I realized you were talking about real life.
But yeah,
Okay.
it was in real life.
And when did that happen in correlation to the dream?
That happened during school. My mom called me after school while I was in ultimate frisbee practice, and I took a nap after school, and that's when I had that dream. I took a nap.
Okay.
That's when I had it, and I just
Yeah.
knew it had to be connected because it was so close to it. But yeah,
Mhm. So your mom called you after the dream or before?
before.
Okay. So so the way that you interpreted the symbols is 100% accurate. It's great. Especially I really love how you kind of took a step back and made sure that you accurately interpreted the two girls. Now
Mm-hmm.
with the funny, that's good. The nice, me personally, I would then ask myself, okay, well, what about her makes her nice? To try to narrow it down a little bit, because I'm sure you could probably know about 20 people in your life that you could say are nice. But she was pulled up specifically. So with that one,
Yeah,
maybe narrow it down a little bit. Like why, what makes her
actually,
nice?
positive. My positive interactions with her, anytime I interacted with her, was positive, and this was in
Yeah,
real life. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's why.
So I mean, like, I mean, is she nice because she's like polite, or because she's
Hmm. Yeah, nice because she's polite. That's the reason.
okay? So so well, you definitely 100% accurately interpreted all the symbols. The way that you interpreted the honesty and the release is a little different, because we want to look at like you weren't releasing your or letting go of your honesty, right?
Hmm.
Because like the reason that the bathroom represents release is because like when we're using the toilet, it's
Yeah,
things that we've been holding on to that we now are letting go of, right?
yeah.
And
That's the conclusion I
with the
came up with.
shower, yeah, with the shower, it's like external. Like the toilet is internal and the shower is external. The things that we've picked up throughout the day, the dirt we've picked up throughout the day, we're washing away and letting go of, right? So that's why it represents release. Well, you being naked in the dream has is not what was being washed away. So it's not that the honesty was being released. It was that there was something you were letting go of, and you were being very honest while doing it, right? You see how that connects?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
I get it now.
And so, and what's really interesting here, though, is that the funny, and because you are a funny guy, just naturally, and that's
Hmm.
one thing I've noticed just from interacting with you these last month and a half, 2 months. Well, yeah, 2 months, and because yeah, the first Zoom, it was just me and you. We come a long way, ain't we, Kez?
Yep.
But what's interesting though is that the funny and nice and even more accurately polite parts of yourself, they left the room. They're like, we're out of here.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's
Yep.
kind of what
I was
happened with you
serious.
and the lunch lady, right? It was like, you know what? Just happy go lucky, enjoy myself. Polite Kez is out of here. I'm gonna let you know you can't talk to me no kind of way, or you need to take my opinion into account, or you need to not, you need to respect me, kind of thing, or whatever exactly happened in the details. But the I'm gonna remain polite no matter what, Kaz walked out of the room, right? And then you had that experience. So what I would suggest is like really looking at what the letting go part was, like like
Go.
after that experience, what did you do after that experience? Like, what kind of emotions and mental, like what kind of emotions did that experience generate? What kind of state of mind did it put you in? And then moving away from there, was there something that you did to kind of let that go?
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
So the kind of state of mind that put me in this state of mind that see I used to be, I don't know why, I just used to be stone cold scared of adults. Like a random adult walking down the hall, I'm not down the street, I'm a kid walking right next to me, I'll just be stone cold scared because I think they'd do something. So that is going to I don't know, that is in correlation with the fact that when I was a younger kid, I always used to say to myself, like, my mom is like God in the house. Her word is absolute. I cannot go against that. And
Yeah.
so, like, this is like the first time in my life I ever went against that. And yeah, it was that. And let me think. Yeah, it was that, and it was me just not blindly following no adults. Me actually creating experiences for myself to actually know if it is true. Like with me and you right now, for some reason I'm like 30 cents short on paying you for this month. I was thinking about going to ask my mom because she put the money on my card for me, but she went to work too early. So then I was thinking about, you know what? I learned enough from you. I was gonna hop off, and I was like, hold on now, wait a minute, slow your roll. So then I was like, see, I'm still on my solar plexus. Let me go up to my crown, other chakras, learn as absolutely as much as I can. Wait till you teach me every single thing that you know, cause like 25% of the stuff you be talking about, I don't know nothing about at all. I may not even heard of it before. So yeah, that's why I was thinking about. First, I was thinking about hopping off. I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm staying on here, getting my knowledge up, and all that. So that's probably
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, I mean, and if you or anybody else want to step away for any reason, that's fine. But if it's for a reason of money, definitely don't let that be the case. At the very least, just come to me, and I mean, at the very least, because I teach about manifestation as well. You know what I mean? So at the very least, let's make that the next thing we focus upon. Manifesting money. If you need $10 a month, well, let's manifest $25 a month. That way you have 10 for the class and 15 for yourself. Yeah. and
Mm-hmm.
so and so we can do that. It's very simple, and that's what we'll focus upon. So this
Wow.
month don't worry about it, and next month we'll focus on manifesting. This month got 4 weeks to manifest you $25. You know what I mean?
Oh, I ain't worried about it this month because I'm manifesting me $1,000 this month before the month
Okay.
is even over. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have it. Hmm.
Nice. Okay. Do you have a plan of action in place?
A plan of action. See, after I started saying I have $1,000 instead of saying I will have, because at first I wanted to say I will have, but I want to trick my mind into thinking I already have it.
Mhm.
So, the people that's at a little club called the Boys and Girls Club. I don't know if you ever heard of this, but
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
people there. They do little programs to help teens make money. And a few days after that, a lady came to the school trying to sign me up for it. And yeah, I just got to bring the papers down. I was should have done it last week because she
Yeah,
came last week on Wednesday, but my schedule is jam packed. I only got Monday and Friday off.
yeah. You sound like
So
me.
yeah, so yeah,
Nice. Okay.
that's the opportunity that I got, and
Beautiful.
I'm gonna take that.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, because I was gonna say, because you know, we do use our mind to do things, but also, we're here in the physical world. We have to also do take action as well. So it sounds like you're taking action. Beautiful.
Hmm.
Beautiful. All right. Well, along those lines, if it's anything comes up, let me know. And just remember, um, what you're learning through like the visualization exercises that we've talked about and things. Have you been I know your mom kind of cut down that flower, that rose bush that you were using before, but
Yep.
have you done anything with the flower exercise, visualization exercise since then?
Flower size, nope. The only things I've been visualizing is me counting my money, taking the rubber band off, counting it every single time in my head when I say I have $1,000.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
took the concentration exercise into my real life now. Like I was just concentrating on my teacher, concentrating on something out the window, and well, it's working. Still, it's like the same thing as the candle. It's just a little bit of moving objects now, so it's
Yeah.
really working.
But I would definitely suggest sticking with the 10-minute concentration exercise as well, on top of that.
Always,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Okay. Cool. Great. Beautiful. Um, and then when you're visualizing, you remember to incorporate all of your other senses as well, like the smelling things and feeling the money, feeling the rubber band, like the full immersion into the visualized image.
You see, I was thinking about that, but then at the same time, as I was visualizing that, I finally understood what my subconscious thoughts were. I mean,
Mm,
not subconscious, super conscious.
mm.
Like, remember I tell you about that little voice in my head? I finally figured it out. My super conscious, man, it was even hard for me to explain to myself inside of my head. Cause like, it's
Oh, you're breaking up. Oh, you just got muted. Hold on. You muted yourself somehow. Cass. Hey, Cass. You muted yourself.
oh, what's going on, bro? Why he calling me? But yeah, it doesn't give me an image. It doesn't tell me something. Like it just it's so hard to explain. It doesn't tell me or show me nothing. It's like somebody giving you a nudge.
Yeah, yeah,
Like somebody giving you a
yeah.
nudge.
Subtle. It's very
That's,
subtle.
that's very subtle.
Yeah,
And those are
and
powerful
that's
thoughts. I get it. It's for positive things. Never
yeah,
nothing negative.
absolutely. And that's one indicator of a subconscious and a superconscious thought. Um, and this it'll be very subtle because the spirit is very subtle. It's there to waiting to receive your attention. And the more you practice your concentration, then the stronger your concentration becomes, the easier it'll be to identify the difference between a thought within the conscious mind, a thought within the subconscious mind, and a thought coming from the superconscious mind. So yeah, keep it up. Keep it up. Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right.
All right. So who else would like to share something or ask
Yeah.
something or put those
Somebody else shit.
questions?
This is my favorite part.
I know you settled in, man. You look comfortable.
I sure am. Whew.
Nice.
I guess I'll go. I started
Okay.
with the concentration, and
Mhm.
I've been using the candle.
Nice. Beautiful.
But I I don't I can't like keep my mind on it. I've only been doing it for maybe 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Okay. What do you find is the main thing distracting you?
My mind just drifts off. It just drifts off and start thinking about other stuff. I'm staring at it, but I'm not.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. So you're seeing that there's a difference between what you're looking at and where your attention is. You can be looking at something, your attention become, a million miles away. So one thing for you and for everyone else who's new here, the way that you'll want to approach, and I probably should just add it into the course, but the way that you'll probably want to approach the candle exercise or any of those concentration ones. I'm glad you picked the candle that has a lot of metaphysical properties to it as well, more than just any of the other symbols, and I'll share more on that in a second. But the way you'll want to approach it is get you a piece of paper and because we want to be metaphysicians and collect our own data and to have a better opportunity of understanding ourselves and the growth and progress that we're making and how we're evolving and moving through this and deepening our understanding of our attention. So you have a paper, put the day's date, and you put the time too if you want. I usually just put the date, and you'll want to have like on your paper. Oh shit! You take this off. Okay, so like you won't hold it up like this; it'll be sitting on the table. A new page. You want all these people's information. All right, but you'll just want your paper just sitting on the page like this, and you're looking at the candle, the flame, right? And then like here, like your pen will just be sitting here, and then every time you realize that you're distracted, you'll just make a tick mark and move it over. You know what I mean? So you're just making tick marks over and over. Like you just holding the pen there and then or pencil, because you want to use a pencil, not a pen. And then, when you realize you're distracted, oh shoot, I'm distracted. Mark it down, take a deep breath, put your attention back. Oh, I'm distracted. And then once you're done, you'll count them all up. You know what I mean? Then, say it's, 81. Wow, I can make that backwards behind it. And then you'll know for that day you had 81. And then tomorrow you'd put, tomorrow's date. Okay, anyways, you get it. And so
I understand.
yeah. But essentially you're just looking at the candle and making those marks, right? And anytime that you're distracted, you're wanting to acknowledge the distraction. That's what that mark is going to do for you. It's going to acknowledge the distraction. Okay, I'm distracted, and then you take a deep breath. And then put your attention back on the flame, which is your object of concentration, your object of focus. And then because just the movement, like the more times you're distracted, great. That's just that many more times that you're bringing your attention back to what you want it to be on. So that's like when you're at the gym, right? And sorry, I want to put this back in. Like when you're at the gym and you're doing, reps, you know what I mean, on the bench. Every single time that you acknowledge that you're distracted and bring your attention back, it's like another rep that you're doing for your mental muscle of concentration. And so with that, every time you move your attention to the flame, you're exercising your concentration, and then that's when the willpower comes in, where you're holding your attention there. And it might only be for a 1 or 2 seconds, a split second, a half a second. It might only last there. But that just means, all right, I'm distracted again. Bring my attention back. Oh, distracted again. You might have, there was like a 3-week span of time shortly after I started doing this years ago, that it was like 200 and something tick marks, in 10 minutes, and so that's but that was more progress than when I was getting like 10, 15 tick marks, so like the number of tick marks has absolutely nothing to do with anything to do with your progress. What you're wanting to look at is the change. Like, hold on, I was at like 20 to 30 tick marks for like 6-7 days in a row, and now I'm up to like 50 or 60. What's changed? What's been different? And so it allows you to have a little more introspection at times when you might not have noticed that there was any change, because you're just going day by day. And so, but also just the acknowledgement that you're distracted really helps in releasing and letting go of your attention from the distraction and placing it on what you do want. Because right now, like I talk about being a metaphysician all the time, because it's a scientific term. So right now we're being scientists. You have your controlled environment. This candle is what my object of focus is. And then I'm, just doing it for 10 minutes in this closed environment that I've created and I have control over. Whereas then, like Kez was talking about, his teacher is the object of focus in class, and so as he becomes distracted by, something, maybe, 2 people are, messing around behind him, and normally he would be very distracted by that. He's already practiced hundreds of times. Oh, let me make my tick mark, mentally. Let me acknowledge that I'm distracted. My attention's not with the teacher. Let me take my deep breath. Let me put my attention on what I do want. Boom. You know what I mean? But it can be anything, but the more times that you practice it in the controlled environment, the better you will be at implementing it out into your regular life in other places. So good. But yeah, like you said, it's only been a few days, but just we definitely wanted to share that with you to like implement into it as well.
I actually have a question about that as well.
Yeah.
So I am probably about like week 3, and I would say let me turn my camera on actually so I can see. So it's definitely gotten easier to focus sort of long term. My question is, so as I'm looking at the flame, right, and as I try to just, in the background there's always something. So I try to center it just with a breath or just, but as I'm focusing on, or I guess I would say, I've sort of moved up probably to like 7 minutes now. And the first few minutes I'm good. I can really focus on it. But the thoughts that are coming to my mind now are like about the flame. So I'm like, it's orange. I see like little blue at the end. Like, and so my question is, as we focus on the flame, as I try to, how can I say this? I know that this is sort of, the exercise is sort of just to build that muscle. But as I'm looking at the flame and trying to really, I guess, keep my mind, from racing or from, going to random places, I find myself asking, or the thoughts that come to my mind are like I said, specifically about the flame and how it looks and how it feels. And so I'm wondering, is that in itself a part of concentration on the actual flame, or should I sort of be trying to keep my mind completely clear, or just, I guess I want to have some more insight as to,
Yeah.
as these thoughts come about the actual flame. It's not like I'm thinking about the flame. I'm more so breaking it down on, like I said, using my senses, how it smells, how it looks, these types of things.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so if you're thinking about what the senses are interpreting, then it's still thoughts. If you're just experiencing the flame through those senses, then that's concentration. And it's natural. This is a natural progression, especially at like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks of like more so like most of your attention is on the flame. Even when you're distracted, it's a distraction about the flame. So like even when you're thinking about the flame, you're distracted by your thoughts, you're still the thoughts are still about the flame. So that's a natural progression, which is great. It shows progress, right? But it's just continue to remain aware that if your attention isn't on the flame, then it's not there. If you're feeling the flame, but your attention is on the feeling, you know what I mean? Or if you're smelling the flame, but your attention is on your nose, that's different than just smelling, experiencing the flame through your sense of smell. Because you can close your eyes. Maybe try that for 1 or 2 days. Close your eyes and put your attention on the flame. Like because if you're kind of experiencing more through these other senses, try that 1 or 2 days, or
Yeah,
or maybe just for like 5 minutes, or like
See,
half the time, do it like that.
see it like that. Yeah, I definitely try that out because, like I said, I guess it's that nuance. Is like I am focusing, like I said, on the actual flame, but then, like I said, as the thoughts are going to be in the background anyways, I'm not necessarily focusing on them, but as I am aware of them, these are sort of like the sea of thoughts that are like, okay, back to the flame, but there's no actual, like you say, it's sort of being present is sort of the
Mhm.
the part of it. But and I didn't want to cut the young lady off if she was still going to ask questions, but I have a follow up. If she's done answer her question, I definitely want to cut her off or anything.
Well, yeah, we'll come back to you.
He can go. He's fine.
All right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So
Yeah,
so
good.
um so my big thing, I would say, I've been at this for a couple of months now. I went from not remember any of my dreams to remember the majority of my dreams every night. Um, my my thing now is I want to get more lucid, and I know that really focuses on the concentration, so that part's come. But at night, sort of my routine, I want to sort of get some feedback on my routine,
Mhm.
because I have some dreams, but I'm really more so focused on the process, because unless you really know the context, only I would really kind of really know what my dreams actually are telling me. Um, but sort of, I like the like bounce method.
Mhm.
Starting with the right leg and the left leg.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point now where it's almost like simultaneous. It's like both legs automatically, and it's like I start to feel like that tingling. And sort of as I put my attention on my toes and up through my body and through my hands, it sort of happens more so on a automatic type of feeling. It's not like I have to consciously, focus on my right arm, or sort of like as I sort of prepare for sleep. It's like a
Mhm.
sort of automatic thing starting to happen. Um, and even like I said, focusing on my third eye, focusing on different chakra points. So I can tell that my focus is increasing. However, I'm still at times like and it's like sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and have a dream like that as vivid, and I need to start writing it because I keep my dream journal beside me. So I'm telling myself like, um, I'm gonna start writing it, like just waking up and writing it, because I can remember a dream, like I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, remember the dream, and then tell myself, okay, I got it, like I remember it, and then I wake up and then I don't remember it. So my question would be, um, when it comes to, I guess, becoming more lucid, remembering more dreams or really more parts, because Now I'm to the point where my recall is getting better because I actually, I actually write stuff down now. You told me that last time, so I got a notebook and I'm writing it down. But I'm still hitting points to where I know, or I have memories of dreams that I can't recall. Like I know I dreamed something, and I had remembered it, but then when I wake up, I give myself a few minutes, and the first thing I start to do when I wake up is recall. Like, okay, what was my dream? How did it feel? And that kind of stuff. So that's sort of my first point. And then my other thing I wanted to run by you is whenever I guess I'll let you answer that first, not because of my other question. I know it's kind of a lot at one time.
Okay. And what's the specific question?
I guess so the bounce method is how I'm sort of winding down at night. And I found that's been very helpful with I guess becoming more concentrated and just kind of focusing. Is there anything else I could be doing to have more vivid dreams or to have better recall outside of just the practice and the natural progression of the visualization and all that kind of stuff?
Okay, gotcha. That's what I was thinking, but I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything more than that. So the bounce technique is definitely going to be great for like kind of winding down. But one thing to remember that's doing for you as far as the lucid dreaming is it's accelerating your energy body activating. Because when you go to sleep at night, most of us, this is how the process goes. We lay down, and after so long, we go unconscious. And then the different things start happening. The energy body starts to activate, the consciousness shifts into our energy body, and we take off, right? But we go unconscious first. So what this is doing is you're starting to already start the process of the energy body activating. So you're kind of jump starting the process so that it'll already be kind of underway and you're a little further along as you go to lay down. And then it's a lot easier to remain awake while you put your body to sleep. Were you there last week when I shared that book, the Book of Secrets? I don't think you were here last week.
Yeah, I can't make it last week.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. The Book of Secrets. I'll put it in the chat. My favorite book of all time. I got it like when I very first started. I just went to a bookstore and bought like 5 books, and really this is like the only one I actually read. The others I kind of started to read a little bit, and I'm like, nah, that's not what I want. That's not what I'm looking for. It was all like little sugar-coated type stuff, like the type of stuff you find in bookstores on metaphysics and spirituality. I'm like, no, I want the real deal knowledge, like not just this person, oh, be present, like I mean, Eckhart Tolle, he's great, but those books just aren't for me. But this book, man, I've never found a book that even comes close. But one of the very first techniques that I found in it was this technique of putting your body to sleep and remaining awake. A very ancient technique. But I mean it's very simple though, but there's a part in there that I think it would be beneficial for you to read. But essentially it's just, remaining awake while your body goes to sleep and you're just watching that process. At first you'll have to go through different like gateways of like your body will want to like move, like you'll want to like you'll have an urge to like move and scratch your shoulder or something or roll over, right? And see, this is where the concentration comes in, because you have to have a strong enough level of concentration in order to remain still at that moment. You know what I mean? Because the thought that's telling you to do that, you have to have a level of awareness to realize what it is instead of just reacting to it. And then you have to realize, oh, wait. This is just, okay, this is the part where I need to ignore this. And you really have to hold yourself to ignore it because it'll get pretty strong. And then once you do, though, then it's like, oh, this individual has a strong enough level of concentration to move on to the next checkpoint. You made it past that checkpoint. And because these are just like safeguards for ourselves, for our consciousness. And so once you get past that, that's when like the sleep paralysis the chemical will release in your brain, and you'll kind of enter into the sleep paralysis, but you won't notice because you're already in a point of like, I'm not fucking moving. But then the next thing that happens is the energy body will start to activate, and that can be very distracting. Sometimes, not all the time, but like, because sometimes it'll feel like your heart. I mean, not even it. Actually, it'll feel more like
That's exactly how it was last night. That's exactly how it was last night. I was
yeah,
doing it, and I felt my heart just, and and I'm like, I'm calm,
exactly.
and so I mean, like you said, I started to itch, and a lot of times, and so I want to ask you this. I think the young lady also had a follow up question, but and what I've from my understanding, the best way to do this is like on your back, and to not move, because I find myself rolling over in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I wonder is that sort of hindering me from becoming, or staying more lucid, when
Yeah.
I do that, or like you said, I get an itch, I'm like, I start scratching.
Yeah, I mean it'll still work whether you're on your side or not. I've found that it's more conducive on the back, but I've definitely projected out on my side. Probably done it that way more than on my back. Um, but not that it's just that that's just more comfortable for me. That's all. But to the rest of that, what then happens after that, because that can be very distracting, and it's not that your heart is pumping that fast, it's that your heart chakra is pumping energy into the energy body to activate it. So if you've already been doing the bounce technique, then you'll kind of that experience won't be so extreme, right? Or you might feel like your whole body's just vibrating, you know what I mean? But then after that, after you get past that checkpoint, the last checkpoint is that you'll start to experience things through your astral senses. You'll start seeing things, hearing things, feeling things. Like, whoa, something just brushed on my leg. Somebody's in here. Oh, there's footsteps outside my room. I mean, I'm hearing whispers out in the other room. I mean? Things that are going to make you want to get the fuck up and go check. Like, hold on, man, should be nobody in here. I got it. And so, but you again, just like the wanting to roll over or itch or scratch something, you have to remain like, okay, hold on, no. This happens every time. I know that there's nobody in my home. You know what I mean? I'm totally fine. Like the very first time I actually had success with this, the very first time I had, the second I left out, because there's also like a sound that you'll hear, like in the book of Revelations, the horn, whenever the seals are broken, the seven seals are the seven doorways into the inner levels. And the horn is the sound that you hear when you move through. Well, the first time I heard that sound, and I mean, there's no way to like describe it in physical, like a horn. No, it doesn't sound like a horn. It's kind of electronic, but not. I mean, it's impossible for me to describe at least. And so, but I thought as soon as it happened, I boom, immediately moved into a dream. But my first thought was, oh shit, was that my computer catching on fire? Like, did I just leave my body and I'm about to be gone for 8 hours? And the whole time my apartment's just up in flames. Like, so I went back to my body and then woke up and was like, oh fuck, I made it out. And, and then I came right back. But so you have to get past those points. But the reason that all of those safeguards are there are because you are where your attention is. The astral plane is in the fourth dimension, so there is no time there. Or time, we don't experience time the same way. We're not limited by the passing of time. You so to travel somewhere, you get there instantly. To manifest something, it manifests instantly. So if you don't have any control over your attention, then you're going to have no control over what you're experiencing and what you're going off and doing, which can be at your own detriment, because you're going into your subconscious mind. And so the things that you do there have an effect on your consciousness when you wake up, you know? And so kind of like when you're like just doing things unconsciously through the dream, that's a little different because it's a more natural process and progress and how you naturally are operating during the day. So it's not too far off of what you're already doing during the day. But when you're, consciously go in and start changing stuff, it'll have an effect, and so having having that level of concentration is needed. And so that's why those safeguards are there. So that just to be able to get to that point, like you have a strong enough level of concentration that even if you don't understand what's going on, you should be okay. You should be relatively okay with yourself. But then also the other aspect of understanding the language, the universal language of the mind, so that when you do get there, you know what the fuck you're experiencing. You see something, you know exactly what it means. You know exactly how you should or should not interact with it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, so those two things are why I focus mostly on those for preparing while you're doing the different things through going to sleep and recalling more dreams. That's why those two things are very important to also do, to where once you do get to a point where you're just able to just every night, let me lay to sleep and whoop, take off, you're already also to a point of level of concentration that you can navigate where you want to go and get there just fine. If you experience something, you can completely, move yourself away from it to somewhere else, or do whatever you want. And then you also have the understanding of the language of the images to be able to know exactly what you're experiencing. Like one thing you said earlier of, oh well, we don't have the context of what your life is like, but we don't need it. I mean, we understand the language. I can't tell you how many times somebody's a complete stranger. Like I have strangers hit me up all the time, say, oh, a friend of mine, this person told me to reach out to you. You can help me with my dream. And majority of the time I know who they're talking about, but sometimes I don't even know who the person who sent them to me is. You know what I mean? And so I'll know nothing about them. I'll send them the interpretation just because it's off the language, and they'll be blown away. Like, oh my God, who are you? How do you, like they'll be sometimes like shook, like, did you project over to me? Do you know what's going on with me? Like, no, I have no fucking clue. I just understand the language, and I'm pretty much a translator. I'm translating the language. So yes, only you can interpret your dream. Absolutely, 100%. But as far as helping you to understand the message so that you can then apply it into your life, yeah, you can share. But if you don't want to share, that's fine. Also, but I just wanted to make sure you understood that the power of understanding that language is major. Is major. But yeah, Latasha,
I,
is it Latasha?
It's Laterica.
Tarek. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I just put your name in earlier. I'm sorry. There was like seven people I put in. Laterica.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so um about what you was just talking about is basically what my question is, because I've been feeling that feeling since I was a teenager, and my parents, nobody knew what it was.
Mhm.
And so I just been going on these trips and not really understanding. So I actually travel a lot but have no control over it. And but I've been reading some gymnastic books lately, and it's all about, becoming aware in that realm, because sometimes I will go, and then by the time I'm at the end, it's like, oh shoot, now I know where I'm at, and then I wake up, but it's like too late.
Mhm.
So my question is like how to become aware in that realm.
Yeah.
And because I have been scared there as well. Like
Mhm.
I transitioned right over as soon as I fell asleep. And so like I start walking down the hallway, and everything just start changing and moving. And I was just like, oh crap, no. Feel your body, where's your body? And I woke right back up. But to control it, to be aware of it, and to yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good because that brings you right into the second thing I was going to talk to about what James was asking. So one first before I get into that, you saying that there's been times where you've been scared. Places in our dreams represent our state of mind. So if you are out, that's another reason why I was talking about the concentration is so key, because if you could be in your dream, you could be flying or doing whatever, swimming in the ocean or whatever, I mean, hanging out with friends, but the moment you start to get scared, you're going to move into that state of mind, and you are where your attention is. So if a place in a dream represents your state of mind, if you shift to a scary state of mind, then you're going to shift to a scary place. And then thus in that place, you'll manifest things that are designed to scare you. But if you have a level of concentration, you can be like, oh, this definitely isn't where I meant to be. I'm just like the concentration exercise. Oh, I'm distracted. I'm distracted. Let me acknowledge my distraction, take a deep breath. Let me put myself in a state of mind of what I do want to experience. Let me put my attention on where I do want to be, and so then just maybe, have, and for that, if that happens, often or regularly or just every once in a while, I would have like a go-to place for yourself, like a meadow in the like in a forest. Like me would always be a forest where like there's just like this meadow kind of in the middle of the forest, not very big. It's like maybe the size of a football field, and like there's a soft glow of light coming in there, and it's just for me, it's just it just seeing that in my mind just creates such a serene and peaceful state of mind because I'm just there with nature and the animals that are there. Not, not the bears and stuff, but like a deer maybe, some other animals that are more calming. But just for me, that's just what it puts me in. So since it puts me in that state of mind, then I'm more peaceful, and then I just elevate away from that scary place. Which that doesn't happen, for me anymore or anything, but that's what I would do. Um, and so in order to move into that other space. So I wanted to share that. But as far as intensifying the vividness and increasing the depth in your dream experience, the key is going one of the biggest keys on top of what we've already talked about, like writing down your dreams, of course, is definitely going to deepen that. Interpreting and applying your dreams is the second greatest thing you can do, to deepen that. But the third greatest thing is to be more vivid throughout the day, to give more attention to the present moment every day. Increase your awareness, whatever your level of awareness is throughout your daily experiences, increase it, deepen it, because your dreams are a reflection of how you use your mind. So if you want to have more awareness in the dream space, in the astral plane, then you need to have more awareness while you're awake. And so do that with your senses, you know, check in every like 20 times a day. What am I seeing? What am I truly seeing? Not just like where my attention is, but like my surroundings and everything, like everybody for a moment, just put your attention on the space behind the chair you're sitting in, or the space if you're standing or whatever. Or if you're laying on your bed, put your attention on the space under your bed. Or if your bed's on the floor, put your attention on the space under the floor. you know, and but or if you're sitting down, just put your attention on the space behind your chair. Like me, every time I get like a unique sensation along. It's really weird how it's along the front of my legs and the back of my back. And it's like energy. I don't know. It's just a shift in my energy and the way that it's moving through my energy field. But things like that. Use more senses because that's a way that you can use your sense of feeling more than just feeling. You're feeling the space through your energy body, right? And so, um, another thing you can do is close your eyes and then see the room through your imagination, through your memory a little bit, but also, see the room, look around the room. I mean, your head's still, your eyes are closed, but you can still look around the room. It might take some practice. I mean, I have to remember that it wasn't so easy for me as it is now. So I'm like able to see everything. But you might be too. You know what I mean? But I just want to say that to say maybe you don't. Maybe you aren't able to really see that well. But practice it, and that will increase. Because one thing that's doing is activating your astral sense of sight, your mind's eye. You just looked at the room with your mind's eye, not with your third eye, not with your physical eyes. And so the more you do that, then the stronger it will become. And then thus when you go to sleep at night and you're primarily and solely using that sense and those astral senses, you'll be more accustomed to them. They'll be strengthened. It'll be very regular, that you're using them. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Antonio said he had to bounce. Not awesome that he bounced, but awesome that he just started and is having a good time.
And just real quickly, I wanted to just ask you about a few. I don't have to go through all in detailed dreams, but I've been having certain themes around my dreams, especially this last week or so. Essentially, a lot, at least at the beginning half of this week, or I would say maybe like obviously the end of last week or so, I started having a lot of dreams about Like one dream was, you know, I was on an elevator and I remember going very high. Like I remember seeing like in the 40s, like I was on a high rise. And I remember saying to myself, oh, I'm on the wrong floor. And I rolled back down to the floor I was supposed to be on. But that's what I say, like I know, remember that I know that's only a portion of the dream, but that's the only portion I can remember. But I was like, I had a feeling like I know it's more. But then I had a dream that my family was climbing a mountain, like I know where, like an ice cold mountain, and we black, you know, so we don't be doing some mountain climbing. But you know, and like my dad wanted to go higher, and you know, I had like my grandma and siblings were like, no, we gotta stay where we're at. But we were still climbing higher, you know, for as an example. And then some of the other couple of things around my dreams were a lot of gunplay. So, you know, it was like, you know, like sort of some war scenes, and I was like, you know, fighting an unknown force, one of my dreams. And then I was getting attacked and had to defend myself with a gun. And so that was another theme that I've seen these last on multiple of my dreams have been around. I mean, and some dreams are being a little violent. I would say, like, I can see like people like getting shot and like, you know, getting exploded and like kind of gory. And a part of that might be some of the shows I watch. I watch a lot of anime. I watch a lot of sort of violent shows. But again, it's been recurring. And sort of the other big theme has been I've been seeing a lot of my old friends. And sort of like I was telling before, I don't really, because of sort of my choices, you know, went to law school and all that kind of stuff. In the pandemic, I don't really have a lot of contact with a lot of my friends, but I've been having, at this point, like I said, it's been multiple dreams in the last 7 days or so where I have been spending time with my old friends. And like I said, it's primarily been pretty positive. You know, like yesterday I had a dream of my best friend and his twin brother, and we were getting a haircut at my old barber spot. It was like a really good, like that right there. But I don't really know what any of that means or how to necessarily apply to my life. So any advice or any feedback on sort of those big themes would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. So like a mountain, and by the way, man, hey, Mount Fuji, one of the most popular mountains, has throughout time been climbed by 99% Black people. So we climb mountains too, man. Don't let the programming. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah, I guess it's a limited thought, you know. So I say, hey,
yeah,
you know.
nah, I'm just saying that because I was right with you for a second, and I was like, hold on, Tanzania, man, they be climbing mountains. But anyways, a mountain is going to represent a challenge. So like whenever you have that dream, you were overcoming your challenges. Whatever was feeling challenging to you in life at the time, you were overcoming those challenges. And then you were with your family in that dream. And then the other dreams, you know, your friends are showing up in your dreams. You know, so people represent the different aspects with that we, you know, the different characteristics that we embody throughout the day, right? The different bodies that we see in our dream will represent the embodiments that we exude throughout the day. And so you're becoming more familiar with yourself. You know, the self-awareness is increasing. And so thus the people in your dreams are now familiar people, you know, because you're becoming more familiar with the characteristics that you exude and embody. And you know, you may have before, but now these other ones are becoming familiar as well. And as far as like the violent ones, are you the one doing like the shooting and killing and things, or are you being like killed, like almost trying to be killed or something, or what's going on with that? Who's doing the?
So I have been primarily doing the shooting. Like I said,
Yeah.
I
That's what I was thinking. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, actually, in all my dreams, yeah. I've been the one shooting,
Yeah.
or defending. Really, like one dream, like we were just in a community center. All of a sudden, we were just being attacked out of nowhere. And it's like it was sort of like a video game type deal. I just picked up a gun and start defending people. But yeah, that's sort of been the theme, you know, myself shooting.
I'm excited because you probably about to start getting into dreams where you like, you know, John Rambo running through the fucking jungle, tearing up the, you know, the whoever or whatever. But so death represents transformation, right? And so everything in the dream is represents self-transformation, or everything in the dream is aspect your own consciousness, so it represents self-transformation, right? So we create our own reality, right? We're always changing, we're always transforming. But for the majority of us, the majority of our life, this has been done unconsciously, based upon the different programming that we've received as a child from, our parents, our household, our school, television, music, our friends. And so it may feel like things outside of ourselves sometimes make us change who we are, but it's still us doing that. And so when that happens, it's like a dream, like you're saying, where people start you're out somewhere and some people start shooting at y'all, right? And so there's an awareness that you're changing, but it's like, hold on, I'm not the one causing this. I'm not consciously causing this change. This is kind of feeling like it's being forced upon me. I need to do, and so now it's to a point where you're like, I need to do something about this. You know what I mean? I need to pick up the tools to create change, the mental tools. So, concentration, visualization, breath work, dream interpretation. These are all mental tools, so I'm picking up the tools for change, probably primarily concentration. But all those other tools are just powerful. And so you're using those tools to control and consciously determine what parts of yourself you're going to change and transform. You know what I mean? And so that's what that's why I assumed there wasn't anything that you said that made me assume that it was you doing the changing, except for the fact that one, just what you've described on the progress you've been making. You've been putting in the effort, so you've been seeing progress. And then two, you had a dream of climbing over a mountain. That's also showing progress. You're evolving consciously. And then also your friends are showing up in your dream, becoming more familiar, family familiar, very familiar of the aspects that are in your showing up in your dreams. And that wasn't really the case so much in the past. And so these are all things showing that you are progressing. So it only would make sense that in your dreams with the shooting, it's not just 100% people are attacking you and you're running from them, like type of dream that most people who have those kind of dreams about shooting and stuff is happening. No, it's a point where you're starting to progress. Like like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it then turns into nobody's shooting at you to instigate it. It's just you're running through the streets, destroying and killing all of the unproductive parts of yourself. You know what I mean? And so that's what needs to happen. You have to, because if you let these parts of yourself that are unproductive, I mean, you have to change them and you have to kill them off. You have to, the parts of you that are not in alignment with where you're trying to go in life, the part of you that doubts yourself or doesn't believe in you, you got to kill that part off. You know what I mean? And any other part of yourself that's associated with it, you got to go. You and your whole gang, y'all toast. I catch you on my streets. It's over. It's curtains for you. You know what I mean? And so that's how you got to treat it when you're going inside of your own mind. And so that's how and like I said, the path that you're on, it's only natural that that's going to end up happening. So it's not anything like you have to start planning this out right before you go to sleep. Like, oh man, I'm gonna go find, these people. It's just naturally gonna happen for you. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. It's definitely very insightful. So I'm gonna take that, and like I said, I feel like I'm getting, like I said, every day I'm just getting a little bit closer. Like I said, to ultimately I want to be able to lucid dream and astral project, but I'm making sure to just trust in the process and sort of fall in love with the process and not try to only focus on just this one thing. Sort of taking a holistic approach. So definitely, it definitely resonates a lot with me.
Good, beautiful. All right. Who else would like to share something, or maybe one of the other new people come up and introduce yourselves? And Kez has something else to say. What's going on, brother?
Well, yeah, I got something to ask you. I was trying to ask you, like, when you lay down and like your attention is to astral project, how long will it take you to project outside of your body?
It depends. I mean, typically the process should probably take about like 15 to 20 minutes. But one, it depends on how exhausted you are. If you've been doing that technique for a while, like one time I was like extremely exhausted, like was did an all-nighter, and then it was like 9 p.m. the next day. And as soon as I laid down, boop, I was out. Like not like out like asleep. I was out my body, gone. And so,
Dang.
but I mean, I had been doing the technique for a while though. At the same time, it wasn't like I had just started or anything.
Mm.
But then around that same exact time, there was another time where it was 4 hours, and I still never actually projected because I was right at the very end, right before you leave, and I got stuck in like a loop of becoming too awake and then falling a little too asleep and becoming too awake, and it was like that for hours. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah, it was yeah. So I never actually never even left. I just got back up after the 4 hours. I got up, kind of woke myself up a little bit, and then laid back after about 20, 30 minutes, laid down and just went to sleep normal. Uh, but yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So it depends, depends on your level of concentration, depends on your energy level of your body, depends on your proficiency with the technique itself. Um, yeah, that's
All right. Well, yeah, for me, in the beginning, that's when I really was feeling the heartbeat anytime I try to project. But me now, I don't. I mean, I do feel it, but it's not as intense as it used to be.
yeah,
That's something I believe is probably is because of the techniques I've been using. But it's not just that. When I wake up, be feeling sleepy sometimes, so I go back to sleep, wake up, and then I try to go back to sleep again. But then the second time I try to go back to sleep, like I told you, I say to myself, I'm going to be aware. And so then when that happens, oh my gosh, it's so weird. Like normally it would just feel like a pulling sensation on the bottom of my spine. Boop, back in the dream. So
mhm.
quickly, like it'll be in like 30 seconds after I wake up, I'll just be straight up back in the dream. Anytime I say I'm gonna be aware, nope, I'm like stuck inside of that sensation. And it had to be going on for like 3 minutes until the sensation just gives off. And that happened to me a couple of times, and I was wondering, well, why is that? And I'm so so dang close to projecting, just boop, like just go out. But like I don't know. Maybe it could have been because my body was exhausted because I just went to sleep or woke up trying to go to sleep again. But I don't know why that is. But that was not a while ago, maybe like a week or two
Yeah.
ago.
I would suggest instead of instead of starting out practicing like as you go to sleep, I would suggest like 3 hours before you normally wake up. Like say you have your alarm set for 6:30 in the morning. Well, either tell yourself um to wake up at 3:30 or just set like a very subtle alarm. It's not like an alarm. I don't know how you would do it, but yeah, maybe a very subtle alarm to wake you up. You don't really want to have to move at all. But maybe you do. I don't know. You know, do
Yeah.
whatever you want. But set an alarm to where you turn it off. It wakes you up 3 hours before you normally would want to get up. That gives you two whole sleep cycles because we sleep in 90-minute cycles. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you wake up, then turn off the alarm or just you tell yourself to wake up. And so you naturally do. And then kind of assess the dream that you just had and then move back into that dream. So so you're pretty much doing the exact same technique where you just allow your body to fall asleep while you remain awake and aware, but you're doing it from a point where your body's like already wanting to go back to sleep anyways. It just was asleep, it's fully rested. It's not like you just finished the day and you're winding down. You're like your body's wound down, like all the way down. It can't get more wound down than what it is right now. And so then you do the technique then, and it'll be a lot easier to actually get into the dream. And you can do it while like picking up the dream where it left off, or just rewind the dream back like 20 minutes and just replay the whole dream in your mind and really like just like with the visualization, immerse yourself into the experience of the dream until you actually get there because you are where your attention is. The more attention you put into redreaming that dream, then the more you're actually going to project out of your body and make it there. And so and practice
Mm-hmm.
that. And the more you practice that and the more success you have with that, then it'll be easier to do it when you first go to sleep. It's like training wheels. You learn to ride a bike with some training wheels first. So you don't just, your dad didn't just put you on the back of the bike and just throw you down the hill. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so, that's one of the only things my dad ever did. Not throw me down the hill, but teach me how to ride a bike.
All right. I mean, I remember just last night, like, how do I explain? Yeah,
Nah,
just
he
last
did a
night,
ton. He did
I
a
was feeling real sleepy, like at went to sleep like at 4 in the morning because I took a nap.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I nap in the middle of the day, so I went to sleep at 4. Normally I'll just get to thinking, just doze off in my thoughts. And last night when I did that, I wasn't aware of the shift, but I ended up going into a dream. Like normally when I be thinking, yeah, it'll be real vivid, but yeah, that once you just go into a dream, you just know something different happened. So I went into a dream. It was normal. I don't know why, but I saw two things of food, like no, three actually, and in the middle of it, I touched it, and then after that, what's it called? Bugs started coming from that food, and I said, "Forget this." After I said that, my attention just went somewhere else. I was like 3 feet away from where my astral body was or something, and then I was drinking some water. I slipped and woke up. I have no idea why I have no idea. I always fall when I become lucid and then I wake up. It's always me falling or me just or me just waking straight up. It's
Yeah.
always falling. I never knew why.
Yeah. So here's one.
Yeah, I remember
A
that.
second. One moment.
All right. Yeah, I actually fell asleep 2 times that night. I became lucid 2 times. The first time was when I was just playing basketball in my dream, and then the guy threw the ball, and it accidentally hit me, and I woke up again. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, it's completely backwards and not all the way filled in. But when you're dreaming, you're up here, right? And the physical level is
Mm-hmm.
down here. So in order to get down there, when you're falling in a dream, you're coming back to your body. So that's why you're having the experience of falling right before you wake up.
Yeah, I always had a feeling about that after you showed me that and explained
Yeah.
that to me for like first 1 or 2 times. I always had a feeling like when I'm falling, yeah, I'm just straight up waking up because I'm falling down to the lower astral, then to the emotional, then to the physical. So then I wake up. So then, yeah, those are some things that I remember. And astral projecting, that's been going well for me. Is just the reason why I asked you how long it takes it for you, because like after 20 minutes I'll be on the I say the third stage. Every time I project, it always takes a while. I mean, a long time to get there. First 5 minutes I'll feel something like on my legs and stuff. Then after that my legs will go numb, but first my hands, those go numb quickly. Hands will go numb, legs will go numb, hands will start feeling big, legs will start feeling big, and it feels like it rises up just a little.
Yeah.
And then after it feels like it rises up, after that I'll just either start thinking to just get away from my physical body. I'll just start thinking about stuff, or I'll say affirmations. Um, when I think, I will start to feel vibrations in my body. But then after I start to feel that, that'll normally be like the extent to where I would be. Because after I feel the vibrations, I feel like I could just go out. So maybe I'll do the rope technique or the technique where I'm swinging side to side because I'm always used to rolling around before I used to go to sleep. So anytime I
That was
did
always
that, I
my
was
favorite.
go side to side and rolling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
And
my
then just
favorite.
roll on.
My first few times doing it to side, ooh man, I don't know what it was, but yeah, my first few times doing it, I was just
my go-to.
great at it.
Nice.
But yeah, after I do those techniques, I'm gonna be stuck in that vibrational stage. Like I feel like I'm ready. I don't feel like I know I'll be ready. So then I'll do the technique, but nothing to happen. And after that, nothing happened. The vibration goes away, and I'll be like at stage 2 when my hands and feet are just feeling numb. They're going up. That's normally what happens every time I try to astral project. I feel like now that I'm saying this to you, it might because of the lack of concentration, or I don't know if I'm missing like a last stage or something.
Um, as far as like the last part of it, actually getting out.
Hmm.
So what do you experience when you do like the rolling technique or the rope technique?
For the rolling technique, what I'll experience is like, how do I explain this? Yeah, for the rolling technique, I would just be rolling. Like I roll in a pool sometimes, so I know how that feels. So I mimic that feeling, and then after I do that, like after 10 or 20 seconds later, I come back to my physical body, and then when that happens, I'm feeling um, it's feeling like just like water. Like after you took the water, it stopped. The glass stops, but the water's still moving. Kind of
Mhm.
feels like that when I do the rolling technique, and then for the swinging side to side. When I do that, I'm I, I'm just half and half. I'm half in my imagination, visualization, and I'm half in my physical body because that's another thing that I was used to doing. And because I was half and half, I will really feel myself swinging side to side. First, it'll start with my hips. Like I'm not moving in real life, but it'll start with my hips. Just feel like just
Mhm.
a little bit, maybe an inch to the left, an inch to the right.
Yeah.
And then it'll just bigger and bigger. But then after it get bigger and bigger, after a while, it'll just stop.
And then what happens after that?
And then what happens after that? I feel like I'm back to square two when I just feel my hands and feet go not go numb, but already are numb.
Okay. And then like what happens in between that and when you actually wake up?
I actually wake up.
Like what
What
happens
happens is,
next? Just describe from
hmm,
that moment all the way on to when you wake up.
all right. So yeah, after I do those techniques, I'll feel I'll feel something. I'll feel a lot of something in my legs. More something like down where my sacral chakra is. I'm always feeling something down there when I'm doing something like this. I feel something down there, maybe some of my upper back too, just something along those places. And that's basically what I'll feel. I'll either feel that or just like I said with the water, felt like it was splashing side to side, something like that. Those are the two things that I would feel, something like that.
But then, I mean, continue leading me on to what you experience all the way up until when you wake up.
All right. Yes. Okay. Let's say just the recent one when my niece was bouncing the ball. I went outside on the porch that we was doing a wristting breathing. The one that you saw me out there. I went out there, sat down.
Yeah.
At first, I was
Well, let's
doing
well let's not use that one just for the purpose of why I'm asking this
that one.
question. Uh,
Uh huh.
let's use the one before that one.
The one before that one. When was
Mhm.
that? Oh yeah, the one before that one. Ooh, that was a while ago. But the one before that one, I believe it was probably one time when I was. Yep. Yeah, it was. All right. So before that one, I was laying in the bed. I mean the couch that I normally sleep on. And first, I'll wait till my body goes numb, and then I'll start. Yeah, I'll wait till my body goes numb, and I'll start swinging side to side to side. And then after that, I will start feeling something, but that kind of distracts me. So I still try to stay focused on swinging side to side. So I continue swinging side to side to side. And after that, the something is getting heavier. And then after something is getting heavier, it just, I'm not going to say it stops, but it just slowly fades away. Just like when I try to fall asleep after I wake up, and it's like trying to pull me down back asleep,
Mhm.
but I'm just not. It's just not letting me. It just
Yeah.
slowly goes away like that. Like it just slowly goes away. Then after it slowly goes away, I'm trying. I tried again. Same thing happened, so I just open my eyes and go about my day.
Okay. So this isn't like as you're falling asleep. It's like you're sitting down and trying to project out, literally.
I only tried to sit down once and try to project, and that was when I was on the porch. Any other time is when I was trying to lay down.
Okay. And so like when do you end up falling asleep?
Do I end up falling asleep? Never. Never. Every single time I was aware unless my body is super tired, like those two times that I told you just last night when I became lucid. Those were the only times I didn't astral project. But those are the only 2 times where I actually dreamt afterwards. Any other time after I did it, after like 30 minutes, I'll just say forget it, and then I'll get up.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like you're getting all the way up into the door and then you're not walking through. So I would suggest, instead of like the rolling and the side to side, look in that book and try some of the rope techniques.
Oh, those, yes. I was trying those too while I was on the porch. Yep,
Because
I
that
remember
will
those.
help you. And the key to those is to feel the rope in your hands. Use, because instead of using like you are kind of feeling it when you're rolling, but
Hmm.
and it is kind of hard because, like, to actually get out of your body, because the whole time you've been trying to stay still, and now you have to start moving. So like maybe one thing is just move your hand in front of your face, especially if you already have the sensation of your feet getting numb and your hands getting numb, and then your hands and legs and feet and arms feeling like they're bigger. Because
Hmm.
what's happening is, like, the numbness isn't that they've gone numb, is that you've removed your attention from the physical body, of the sense of touch. So you're not feeling your physical body, and then they feel bigger because your sense of touch is now in your astral body, because your astral body is bigger, right? Like if you looked at your hand in the astral, it looked like big ass fucking summer sausages. It's big.
Oh.
So and so if you've already gotten past that point, then just maybe move your hand in front of your face, and then move the other hand, and then see the rope coming out of like the ceiling or whatever, and then grab it and really feel it and pull yourself out of your body. I mean, you have to put forth the, like it's real easy for me to walk up to this door right here. It's real easy to walk up to the door, but I got to put a little more effort to actually open the door. You know what I mean? And walk through it.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's easy to just lay down and stay awake while your body goes to sleep. You know what I mean? No, it's not easy, but compared to what you're going to have to do to actually walk out the door, it's relatively easy compared to that last step. So it sounds like you're getting all the way up to the door, and then you're not actually grabbing it, holding it, twisting the knob, opening it up, and walking out.
Man, I just, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I'm smiling so hard because I feel like I'm about to do it tonight. Set my
Good.
alarm for what, for 3 o'clock. I read Astro Dynamics, learned some techniques, rope technique, known that for a while. Yep, yep.
Nice. And
I'm
maybe
definitely
and
about to
maybe
try
re
that.
and maybe reread it. Because when you read things more than once, you pick up on stuff that you didn't pick up on the first time. Because now you have a level of understanding that you didn't have before.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, this is gonna be a good experience. I can just tell. Ooh,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. All right. Well, who else would like to share something or ask something or share their experience with their exercises throughout this week, where they're at with things, new experiences they've had, the new awareness, understanding, revelations? Any of the other new people want to come up and introduce themselves? Hey,
What,
Williams, iPhone.
what's going on, man? It's marketing for
What's
work.
going
Everybody
on?
person is. I'm cooking right now. Vegetable udon
Hey, man, he made us all a plate, y'all. He got us all a plate, okay?
Yay, let's go.
quick. I'm glad I'm here,
Beautiful.
group. I haven't had a whole lot of time because I work like 60 hours a week.
Yeah,
With cooking included. But
that
I've been trying.
sounds like me.
Yeah, no. Been trying to get on some more meditation and doing a little bit of visualization. Haven't really, because in my situation, I can't have a candle in the house. Other
Yeah,
stuff's going on. But So I've been trying to do the concentration technique with the faucet, because clouds are kind of moving around.
Unpredictable.
Yeah. I'm usually home at night, so there's no
Oh
clouds.
yeah.
But the way my faucet's set up, it's kind of hard to get it to drip in 10-second, 20-second intervals. So I've done it maybe like 10 times now, but I haven't moved on to the next stage of the Keys to Success course. So I'm wondering, should I just barge into that and just see if I can get them going at the same time, or should I really save?
I mean, you can do anything. You can look at the end of your finger. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want, man. Pull out one of them blocks and just hold it in front of your face. Whatever you want, man. Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is that the reason that like it's shared in the course, that those objects were selected is just because there is a little bit of movement to it.
Yeah.
And the nature of your mind is motion. So it's kind of like, like I said, having training wheels with it. And so it just makes it easier to get into versus, looking at the end of your finger, or, looking at a blade of grass. But you can do that, man. Go out and grab one blade of grass and pull it in and just set it on there. Get a drop of water and put a drop of water on a plate. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And just set that on the table right in front of you and just look at the drop of water.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be it's just not going to be as easy as something that already has a little movement, like a candle flame.
Okay.
That's fine.
Right.
Or I don't know. I was gonna say, or just get a candle and sit in your car and do it. But that might be kind of weird. People walking by like, what's this dude doing, man? He got a seance going on. Yeah, I mean, but just be creative. Be creative, and whatever you got to do to make it. Because the main thing is actually doing it every day. That's what's going to get the practice. It's just like your physical muscles. Hey, you can't make it to the gym, so what? There's plenty of calisthenics. You can find other ways to exercise.
Right.
You do wall sits. Something, anything. Just be creative and be regular with it. That's the main thing.
Right on. Well, I'm gonna get on some fingers or some locks or something. I'm gonna do something, because not a long time. Like, I meditated for 20 minutes the other night, and I was like, this actually wasn't long. So when I do it for 5 minutes, it don't feel like as much. So now, like, the passage of time seems like even when I was doing the concentration exercise, I was like, wow, that was 5 minutes. That was really quick. So I think if I'm just sitting there, what am I supposed to be, kind of just focusing on, like picking things apart, or kind of like looking, just focusing on it?
Yeah, so just put your attention on that. And I don't think you were here earlier. One thing you'll want to do that I didn't put in the course, but that you'll definitely want to do, is get you a piece of paper, right? And I already have some tick marks on here. Oh shit. Here it goes again. You can't see. I already have some tick marks on here. And you'll just want your pencil. Oh, yeah,
yeah. Very good.
Oh shit. I messed it up again. Okay, there we go. And you want your pencil laying there, and just every time you realize you're distracted, just make a mark, right?
So thinking about anything other than my finger or whatever.
Not thinking about, because if you're thinking at all, even if you're thinking about your finger, your attention's on your thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So anytime you get distracted, anytime your attention is not on your finger, and it might be all the time. You know what I mean? You might have 200 tick marks by the end of 10 minutes. That's fine. Because the thing the tick mark does is it acknowledges that your attention is not where you want it to be. Oh, I'm distracted. Let me, the way I always do it, I make a tick mark, and then I take a deep breath. And then I put it back on, the flame or whatever your object of focus is.
Okay.
And then so that's the concentration part, right? That's the controlling my attention, telling my attention what to do. Nope, you're in the wrong place. Go over here. Like, have you ever owned a dog since being an adult?
Nope.
No. Okay. Did you ever own one as a growing up at all in your life?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I mean, you kind of probably still at least understand the concept of having gone through the experience. You'd really know like how much focus you really have to teach a dog to do something, and so it's just the more, because like with a dog, you just have to. Do you have any children?
Nope.
Okay. I don't either. That's why I've never like raised any from childhood or like from a baby. So I've never had the experience like that either. That's why I always go to a dog. But children are the same way, you know. You got to just continually remind them, continually tell them what you want them to do, and eventually they'll learn and get. And so your attention is the same way. You know, you continually tell it what to do, it'll start listening to you a lot more. So the more times you actually acknowledge the distraction and tell it, nope, I don't want you here, I want you here, then the easier that's going to be. That's building your concentration. Once your attention is there, holding your attention there, that's where the willpower comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that may last, 10 seconds. It may only last, 10 milliseconds. That's fine. But the thing is how long from the moment your attention is no longer on that object to when you realize it's no longer on that object, that's kind of a big difference maker. That's another thing why the tick marks help, because after 28 days, 35 days, 64 days, you have a ton of data to go from, and you'll see how it fluctuates. At a time you were only getting like 10 tick marks in 10 minutes. Then you were up to like 50 tick marks in 10 minutes. Then you were up to 130 tick marks in 10 minutes. Then you were back down to 75 tick marks in 10 minutes. And so the number of tick marks has no importance at all. It's just when that shift happens, you want to identify, okay, what's going on that's different? What is my understanding of my attention different than what it was before? What is my relationship and control over my concentration? How is that changing and growing based upon this new data? And so, yeah, just being a scientist with it, conducting your own study and your own findings.
Cool. And I'm gonna try and figure out some way because it takes me literally like a whole 3 or 4 minutes just to get the faucet to do the right thing. So I think I'm gonna
yeah,
sit there with something in my face, whatever it may be, like a glass of water. Maybe there's some bubbles on the side, or whatever, maybe some sparkling water. Something to, whatever it is. Just
do you have any food coloring at home?
Nah, I could put like water.
I didn't know if you like one drop of food coloring in a glass of water or something, what that might be like. I don't know. Or that'd probably just end up dissipating and disappearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing it. It's just getting myself to do it. Like I do push-ups every night. I'm starting to do meditation every night. And so if I do exercise every night, just compile those things into a routine, that'd be a lot better than just kind of doing it as a passing fancy, like having it be something that I do consistently, because that's obviously the most important part, is the consistency.
Yeah. I would say just get a blade of grass. Truly, just get a blade of grass, and then just hold the blade of grass in your hand, and just look at the tip of the blade of grass, or the whole blade. Maybe, or like the last quarter inch or something, or maybe just hold it. Maybe just hold it to where it's only like a quarter inch sticking out. And then just put your attention on the whole blade of grass that you can see.
And then, so if I'm not thinking about the blade of grass, then it would be a tick mark.
Oh yeah, because if you're holding it, maybe not something you're holding, so you can. Or yeah, if you guess you can hold one hand and tick mark with the other. I don't know. Yeah, just be creative. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out.
Okay.
But as far as the thoughts, yeah, any thought is a distraction because your attention is not on the grass. You'll get it once after about a couple of weeks. You'll really maybe even a couple of days. You'll really start to understand what that means.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be amazing.
yeah, because then you're starting to create a little more space in your thoughts.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Helpful. Sure.
Do you do any breathing? Do you do any breathing techniques?
I try and I've been doing the you said one time on your Insta or TikTok live, you were like talking about meditation and watch your breath like you're watching TV, and same watch like you're watching TV.
Yeah.
And I'll do that when I'm going to sleep. I think you had another TikTok about like when you're trying to go to sleep, if you're trying to lucid dream or astral project, things like that. It's like intentional sleep paralysis or whatever, like induced sleep paralysis. I'm just laying there, not moving. I might have an itch, twitch, or feeling like I need to move. Just ignoring it, and then just focusing on my breathing. I'll fall asleep in like 3 or 4 minutes. So that's been great. But I think other than that, what would you? I haven't joined a single Zoom other than today because I left work.
Yeah.
I usually push overtime because I do sales. So
Yeah.
the more I'm outside,
what do you sell?
Donations for charity.
Oh, okay. I'm the same. That's why I said that sounds like me, because I'm the same. I sell mortgage. So
Oh,
yeah, that's why I was a little late today. I was stuck on a call and then didn't have enough time to get ready.
right,
Yeah,
right.
nice. So I would just do the same thing. Just watch your breath. But here's what made me think of it, and so this is probably what I should share.
Mhm.
Is the space between the thoughts and things. Try to find the space between your breaths.
Okay.
When the inhale and turns into the exhale, and when the exhale turns into the inhale, try to find that space between each. Not holding your breath.
Yeah.
Just try to find that space, that subtle turning point, the apex of that turn.
That's something I found interesting before. Is like just when I'm trying to breathe deep, I usually end up like yawning or something. And when I'm focusing on it, I'll just yawn out of nowhere, and I'm just like, I guess I'm doing something right or whatever. Something's going on with my breath.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just
Yeah.
keep watching that and see. Find out for yourself what's going on there.
Okay. Cool.
Nice.
Well, I'm gonna get to dinner. I don't know how long you're gonna be on here.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
Enjoy.
the info as always. Like it's been great. Being able to network with you guys and like kind of share thoughts and dreams and stuff like that. I'm gonna try and get on more Zoom calls. How long do you guys usually go for?
It depends. I mean, last week it was like 4 hours.
Oh wow.
We was in here cooking last week, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so that might be a good one to go back and watch. You in the Discord chat?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a channel in there, Zoom. There's a link. It's just a link to the website that you can only access through the Zoom, and so go on there and maybe just throughout your days over the next week or something, just listen to parts of that as you go through the day. Listen to 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Maybe on your. Or do you work from home?
No, I work out wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
Like I have sometimes 50. I commuted an hour today coming home.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna say. Like during your commute or something, you can listen to it during the commute or something. I don't know, because there'll be a lot in those things. You'll probably hear that you'll like. There's all type of little gems that come up all the time, just like today. Yeah.
All right, put y'all on. I'm gonna put myself on mute, take my camera off, and eat dinner and just listen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right. Thanks a bunch, boss.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Santana.
Hey Tarak, I'm sorry. I've been busy at work right now here, but I just wanted to
apologize.
Just to see how everyone was doing, and I was listening in. I'm so proud of Marquez. He's been doing a really great job with everything.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just share my experience with the group. Ever since you did that dream interpretation, I've been going deeper into myself, and I think I've been in transition with my energetic vibration. Like I can literally feel myself changing. I took a step back from everything. I had a wave of energy that hit me to the point where I was extremely irritable. I felt like, how reptilians get that energy when they start shedding their skin. So I could imagine, me being itchy and uncomfortable. My dreams, I've been so deep in my dreams to the point I can only remember moments. I've been so tired lately. I sleep so much now. I could barely catch a break. I really feel like I'm going through really uncomfortable shift. I've been seeing like 999 every moment, hour, and 55 or 555 or 5555, and it's in 99. So those numbers I've been seeing for like 2 weeks straight now, like hard. I've been having visions where I'm seeing those same numbers as well. I did have last night. I was in and out of consciousness in my dream, and the thing I can remember is my dad was taking me. We were walking a dock, and he was talking about something about the lake. It was like my lake, the lake that I seen. It was murky, but I could see the fishes. They were so big, but they were like on the surface. You know how fishes come up when they float, and they was like dying,
Mhm.
and they were dead, like they were half alive. And it was, I didn't know what that was, but that's what I can remember from my dream last night.
Yeah, fascinating. So um have you how much work have you been doing with like the dream symbols?
Well, I haven't wrote them down, but I kind of have them and in the back of my mind. I've been making a point to remember everything from what you posted when you were pretty much interpreting everybody's dreams in the group chat. I mean, in the Discord, as well as the symbols that you emailed me in my email. But new symbols have to be written every day. I've seen them because I don't understand what the fish or the lake meant, and the
Mhm.
fact that the waters were murky. Maybe it
Yeah.
symbolizes me being unclear about
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
But
Your life experiences, because water will
yeah,
represent life experiences. Yeah. Did you know that
okay,
there's a link to the glossary for the website? Do you know that's on there on the Discord?
yeah, I
Okay, okay,
know that. Yeah,
okay.
I am making a point, by the end of this week to make sure that I have all the symbols written down in my dream journal. I just have been trying to find the time,
I get it. I get it.
between taking
Yeah,
care of my kids and doing my job.
yeah.
But
I just was curious as far as
I
that, just
haven't.
because like for you in because like things that have to do with like lucid dream and astral projection, like for kids, things that associate with that are very important. For you, like understanding the universal language of the mind and like really understanding that language and becoming fluent in it is going to be so life changing for you, just because of your relationship with your dreams and how vivid and immersed into your dream experiences you are, and how connected you are with your dreams. It's gonna truly be transformational. And so that's the only reason I asked that. But as far as the symbols, your father is an authority figure in your life. Regardless of whatever relationships any person in here may or may not have with either of their parents, a parent is still going to represent the super conscious mind. And so um, it's really interesting that he showed up in your dream last night and you said you haven't been having you've been very tired and sleepy a lot, because the male principle of the superconscious mind is to feed life force energy to the rest of our mind. The female principle of the superconscious mind is to hold the blueprint for our existence that we've created, for our sole purpose and our life purpose. And so anytime that we are moving in alignment with that, the aggressive principle will feed life force energy into us to where we have the energy to do these things, right? And so you're aligned with your super conscious mind. So you have the energy within you. You have that thrill, that surge, that inner urge available to you. And you're at the docks, with the water. Water represents life experiences, and it's kind of murky. So you're not very clear on what you're experiencing in life, and the fish are dead. So fish represent spiritual knowledge, not just any regular knowledge, but spiritual knowledge, which is very interesting because whenever I was very mindful of whenever you came up, I was going to ask you about this, and it was going to be about knowledge, because there was a lot of food in your last dream, but you weren't really consuming much of it, right? And then I was going to ask about that and just questions about that, and to kind of uh, instigate some things for you, that may or may not may have already done for yourself. But it's funny that fish showed up in the dream and the way they showed up, because then that's spiritual knowledge, not just regular knowledge. Because like I don't know if like remember from what I shared in the email, which you probably do, knowledge is more than just like information. You know what I mean? As far as like with dreams, knowledge is because food, we eat the food because it's going to be nutritious to our body. Our body can use it. Our body can take part of that food and it becomes a permanent part of us and we let the rest go. You know, like in life, we can't we can't take our money with us. We can't take our possessions with us. We can't take our relationships with us. I mean, we can, but not in the same way. The only thing that you can take with you, the only thing that becomes a permanent part of you is the knowledge, the understandings that you build through life that become a permanent part of your soul. And that's what moves forward with you, you know, beyond this lifetime. And so when we have experiences and we've learned lessons in life from the experiences that we have, the things that we're capable of understanding and the understandings that we're able to deepen through those lessons is what we make a permanent part of ourselves. Like for instance, um, you know, you've been like if you've been working at a job for a while and as an adult for years, different jobs or the same job for a long time, there's a way in which you understand what responsibility is more than you did when you were a child. Ways in which you understand what abundance is more than you did when you were younger. You know what I mean? Like you understand these things in deeper ways. So like that's what I mean by understandings. And so knowledge is more than just is that, but spiritual knowledge is like understanding intuition, you know, understanding energy transmutation or other things, understanding what the breath is, the power of the breath, you know. And so those the spiritual knowledge that you have is changing and transforming. You may not understand what's going on in your life right now, but that's changing and transforming. And so that's one thing that I would ask is, what have you been learning from life lately?
Um, I've been learning how to be present. Right now I've been going back and forth with, listening to my audiobook of, becoming supernatural. I forgot the author's name, but I have a tendency to think about reoccurring thoughts that happened in my past, and I've been being my best, doing my best to stay present because I do not want to manifest my past back into my future, which is something that I've done so many times. And since I've Joe Dispenza, yeah, so many times that I've did, so like my background is staying focused. I've been having a lot of my past to hit me with, with my past relationships with my exes and my children's fathers. So it's been really hard to stay on course with my spiritual journey with everything. So it's just the part when you're trying to change and you have to reenact with people who are, or outside things, and then they shake it. And I'm still learning how to like not be shaken and let things affect me. So I'm literally being really important and staying grounded in my peace and maintaining my boundaries. So that's what I've been really working on. At first I needed to take a step back and to rework with those and reestablish on having a clear sense of me being grounded, reaffirm my boundaries, as well as me staying present, because I'm still healing. I had, first of all, I deal with a lot of domestic violence and trauma with my job, which I'm doing my best to stay present because I'm ready to leave, on top of being in very unhealthy relationships where I did experience abuse as well, on very emotional and mental and verbal. So I'm literally just trying to heal from that, but be present and staying focused with where I'm trying to go now. So that's kind of where my experience is and where my head's been. So I struggle with boundaries a lot with people. So yeah.
It makes a lot of sense that you are very clear on all of the things that you're learning right now. Like that was a very beautiful answer, and beautiful in the sense that you're so aware of and kind of crystal clear with all of that. And so it makes sense because of what the dream was. Like the one dream, I mean, you had the whole buffet of food, you know. And so what I would ask is, what do you understand presence to be?
Well, so I sometimes I have thoughts about that time is linear, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have to remind myself of the new network of thinking that I've created for myself, which is time is not linear. So literally I jump timelines of, so Maddie, I'm on a thing. So I'm sorry, I just my mind is everywhere. What was your question again?
What do you understand presence to be?
Moment to moment. Like, if I can, I really, me having my full awareness, what I'm doing right now. I'm on this call with you. I'm responding right now. You just asked me a question, Tarak. That's me being present. But if me not being present is, I'm wondering what I'm gonna do tomorrow, if I'm prepared. You just having my thoughts to wonder. Sometimes I have thoughts, intrusive thoughts, but since I've been dedicating myself to the breathing and the concentration, my intrusive thoughts have like literally minimized themselves where I can see them. I allow them to exist and then they gotta go. So that's kind of like me being focused and awareness. Like I take my surroundings and I take everything in right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you feel like you completely understand what presence is?
I don't think I think I'm open to learning more about it, but
Yeah.
that's always been my definition of, being present.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your definition, but I'm just saying, just asking, because if you feel that you completely understand it, then that understanding, you have a complete understanding. Now, you probably don't if that's something you're already like really focused on wanting to, it's a life lesson for you. So that means that there's more to understand about what presence is, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's where the knowledge is. That's where the nutrition is in your future life experiences. Something between now and next year, or now and next month, or shit, now and next week. You know what I mean? Who knows? But there's something between now and then that the difference is you're going to deepen your understanding of what presence is. Your awareness of that understanding and understanding what it is going to deepen. Something new is going to come through. And so that's the knowledge. Another thing you said is being at peace. What do you understand that to be? What does being at peace mean?
Having emotional balance, like things outside of me that don't shake me, like having the sense of calmness and security within myself and feeling safe, like no matter what happens to me, I know I'm gonna be good. I know I'm good right now. I'm at peace. I feel calm. I feel safe, secure. That's what, peace means. It's almost like the feeling you get when you go to the beach and you hear the ocean. That's kind of like how I imagine peace to be for me. I did mess up. I messed up really bad, like messed up this week so bad, Tarak. And I was just so down on myself. I allowed outside influence to shake my peace. And my personal power was influenced, where, usually I get like these visions of my chakra health, as I say, and it comes in the form of vehicles. So that's why I'm always telling you dreams about my car. So when my peace was shaken and I allowed, you know, someone, my ex, to get me out of character, I felt like my personal power. Like I literally had a vision that night of a yellow car. One of the headlights was busted. Like the whole side of the headlight and the tail light was like busted. I was like, dang, I just got this chakra back working. And now my willpower, I got it where, I have to call my power back. So I'm learning. That's what I've been working on for this week.
Okay. So it sounds like you're right now, that's even more like present moments, like learning, like you're on the precipice of deepening your understanding of peace, and what it really means to be at peace. So one thing that I hear in what you were sharing in your experience is that it sounds like you were more reacting to things versus responding to something. Because anytime we kind of have that awareness that someone else, because it's huge that you said that you are aware that someone else influenced you to do those things. So there's already at least a level of awareness that you have, an understanding that you have, that it's all under your control and your own choice, but it's whether you're consciously choosing it or not. And usually when we're reacting, it's when we're not consciously choosing, it's a kind of an unconscious reaction. So that's huge already. But then, what, like, just really understanding the process of that and how that shifted your peace will help you to be in a better position to where you're in more control of it. And when you truly learn how to do that, then you'll have a deeper understanding of what peace and inner peace really is. You know what I mean? And it's just all, and the knowledge is just all about that, continuing to deepen those understandings until we have a complete understand, until you completely understand what inner peace is, to where someone can ask you, what's inner peace? And you can say it so simply that you may only need one word to describe it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you understand it so completely, you maybe only 2 or 3 words to describe it. You know what I mean? And so it's just all about getting to that point and not just really looking at looking at the experience and, oh man, I allowed this to happen. This kind of is how this shifted, but really understanding what peace is. That's the knowledge. That's the food, that you're eating. And so
make sure when I have a drink that I eat all the food.
yeah.
But I noticed something, like a habit that I had for the longest, and I wanted to acknowledge, like, why wasn't I eating in my dream? I had this ability where I can get so hung up on having all of the great books, but don't put in as much effort in reading them and feeding my consciousness than I do with actually purchasing the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like having that satisfying feeling that I have the book, but don't have the satisfying feeling to like actually dive into the knowledge. So that's kind of like what it represents, what I understood to have for that dream. And it's just like, okay, well, I know where to find it when I want it. So I'm gonna just not get it right now. I know where to get it though. And then my attention goes from there.
It goes even deeper than that. You know what I mean? Because then that's just the information. You know what I mean? Knowledge, really, the etymology, etymology of the word experience is knowledge as your observation as your source of knowledge. So by giving yourself an experience, so pretty much applying that information into your life, that's where the knowledge really comes in. So but it's the same thing though. Like having the book versus actually reading the book is 2 totally different things, right?
Yeah.
And then on that same level, reading the book and then applying that information that you receive from the book into your life are two totally different things. Just like applying that information into your life and understanding what that has done for you is two totally separate things. You know, it's
I
just like,
did tell myself that I have not have been having many life experiences because I've been so, you know, safe and, cautious about not wanting to make a mistake and like I've been being in my job too long and, and wanting, to experience, like wanting new experiences with, a new job and things like that. So,
well, it's all about perspective, because in reality, you have just as many life experiences as everyone else. It's just what it is you're experiencing. So you may not be having different experiences, but it's just like what you said earlier, kind of the same kind of things coming back around again. And you want to make sure that those same things don't continue to come back around some more. You know, the understandings, deepening the understandings and actually getting that knowledge, that is how good you are at that is going to determine whether the thing comes back around again. Because like I said, that's the only thing you can take with you. That's the true purpose of why we're here, is to build those understandings and also to share what we already understand with those around us. And so if we don't learn it the first, because we always have free will, so an experience will come up, we have the opportunity of understanding something, and we have the free will to choose whether we actually want to understand it or not. We not really want to, but actually putting forth the effort to make sure that we understand it or not. And if we don't, that's fine. Give it some time, but some similar experience will come up and the same thing will happen. Like maybe it might not be a relationship, like a romantic, intimate relationship, but maybe it's a relationship at a job where now something with like a coworker or a supervisor or something is kind of having the same kind of lines. It might not be the exact same experience, but along the same lines, to where it'll give you the same opportunity to understand something, and maybe you don't choose to learn it. Okay, don't learn it. Then all of a sudden, something else comes up to where you have to have that same opportunity to understand something until you do learn it. Then you elevate to a higher plane, right? So then the next time something about security comes up, then you're on a higher level. So it's the same lesson, but it's a whole different experience on a higher plane, you know, or like yeah, I mean, like maybe it's something with like self-love, and then now once you actually do understand that, because it doesn't sound like you're having the same type of experiences as you were in the past, um, but maybe wanting to keep that from coming back is probably just indicative of having to fully learn those things. You've learned some of it, but fully make sure you just fully learn it all so that you don't have to re-experience it.
I have a question. Like, I'm trying to make sure that I understand the differences between the consciousness. You mentioned that the super conscious versus the I don't understand much about the super consciousness. If you can just elaborate. I do want to take notes right now on that so that I
Yeah.
can do a little bit more investigating on my initial dream that I emailed you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up real quick. I'm gonna have to flip it around or something. Or wait, you know what? No, I don't. I can just share my screen. Haha. Okay. This is what I do. Oh, wait, who is it? Okay. All right, everybody can see my screen?
Yep, I can see that.
Right. Do you know what your intuition is, Santana?
I don't know off the bat a good if I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Do you understand what your soul is? Or what do you understand your soul is?
I understand my soul to be my true body, my light body. That's kind of how I learned it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the simple version that I can just pretty
Okay.
much put it.
And what about your spirit?
I don't know. I wanted to always understand what is the difference between the spirit and the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I don't know.
What is the difference between you and your body?
My body is the vessel that holds my soul. That's what that I believe it to be.
Okay.
Kind of like how we get into the car to move around. We
Yeah.
need the body here.
Yeah.
I
You ever
don't think that.
have you ever been on in a car and it got on like a ferry? Or you know what I'm talking about? Like in New York, the cars will drive onto a ferry, and then the ferry is a big boat that carries a bunch of cars over to the other side.
I'm familiar with that. I've seen that in
Okay.
movies, but
Yeah.
to experience that is different. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been on one either, but at least you're aware of what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
you understand that you are just inside the vehicle of your body, right?
Right.
Like you said, just like you can get into your car and you are then inside of your car operating you're the operator of that vehicle, right? Then you can
Yeah.
drive your car onto the ferry, and then who is inside of your body, who is inside of the car, is inside of the ferry, and then the ferry is navigating around the waterways of that plane, right?
Right.
So actually right here where this visualization is, imagine that's not there. Our true consciousness is beyond all of this. It's above all of this. Our consciousness, our real self, our true self, our I am is beyond all of this. This is the mind. It's a tool that we use to experience superconscious mind, subconscious mind, conscious mind. But the first vehicle that the consciousness can get into is the spirit. And it gets into that vehicle to traverse the fifth dimension. And we'll get into what that is once I break down the rest, right? But then the consciousness, which is inside of the spirit, using it like a vehicle, like a vessel, can also then get into the vehicle of the soul and traverse around through the fourth dimension. Then just like you are inside of your body and you can get inside of your car, now you're inside of a vehicle inside of a vehicle driving around, right? Because you're
So,
controlling your body.
question.
Yeah.
So if we're going back to the fairy example, what would the fairy represent? Would the fairy represent the spirit?
No, the
Or
fairy
would
will
the
represent
fairy
like the physical body. Like you have
Okay.
like you're inside of the vehicle of your body, right?
Right.
And you're operating your body. But then you, which is within your body, can go into a vehicle, a car, right?
Right.
And so now you can be operating a vehicle and then going into another vehicle and operating that vehicle, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's on a whole different plane. You know what I mean? It's on roadways. It can only be on these roadways. And so it's not an exact analogy, but the fact of having your awareness expand to understand you can be inside of this vehicle that you're controlling for your physical body, and then you can then control that physical body into controlling the car, right? So your consciousness is inside of the spirit. It can then get inside of the soul and then the physical body. These are all three of these are just vehicles. They're just vehicles.
So the spirit operates as the causal body.
Well, okay. So let's I can see how this is getting kind of confusing. 1 second. Okay, can everybody see that? Is it something new that everybody sees?
No.
It looks the same.
Okay.
No, it's still the same.
All right, now we see something new.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, ignore this Akashic records and everything and all these dotted lines, right? Shit, hold on. Let me find something without.
I think I do get what you're trying to say with the cars and the
Here we go.
stuff. I think I do get that.
This one. Okay, here we go. So we just have 3 divisions, right? 1, 2, 3. This is the physical down here. It uses the conscious. Our physical body uses the conscious mind. So, like all of your thoughts that you have throughout the day, all day, every day, those are conscious thoughts. The conscious mind is aggressive. Those thoughts are coming in. So pretty much 99% of the time when you're thinking about a thought, it's a conscious thought, right? That's why it takes a lot of practice and time to really understand the difference between when you're thinking a conscious thought and when you're thinking a subconscious thought. But to get back to what we were talking about, let's just stick with just these 3 levels. It's not as broken down like the other one, but I'm sure we can use our memory to remember what was here. Okay, you have the spirit up here, the soul here, and the physical body here on these 3 different planes of existence. Now, because it can get confusing because, the spirit is made up of 2 separate bodies. The soul is made up of actually 4 different bodies. But our physical body is just 1 body. So it can kind of get that's why it's kind of get confusing. But so when you dream, you're not in your physical body, right? You're not seeing things with your physical eyes or ears, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're seeing those things with the senses of a different body. And you can do different things there, right? So you can time does not exist. That's the 4th dimension, is time. So you can move into the future, you can move into the past. It doesn't take any time to manifest something, to travel. Time is completely unlocked within the 4th dimension. It's a whole different plane of existence. Okay, so for this analogy, the car, it would be the physical body, right? The car can only drive on roadways. If there's not a road, if there's no earth underneath it, the car can't go there. It's on this 2 dimension. It can go forward, back, and left and right. A car can't go up and down, right? Unless it's on a hill, but it can't just start floating in the air. Now, a plane, it has an added dimension to it. You can get into that. That's a different vehicle that can now go forward, back, left, right, up, and down, right? A whole different type of vehicle. And so that's kind of the difference between the car and the body, the physical body, that can only traverse 3 dimensions: forward, back, left, right, up, down. But we're stuck. We're locked in the present moment. We can't move into the physical body can't move into the future, right? We can't move into the past, right? So we're stuck in the present moment. Now our soul can move to the future and the past. That's why we can have intuitive thoughts. Time isn't as of no essence. You know what I mean? So I can be thinking about a friend of mine and then pick up my phone and they're already calling me, because the subconscious mind, time is of no essence. It can see into the future. Oh, what's most probable to happen? You're about to get a phone call from this person, or this person's thinking about you. So even though they're all the way over here, it takes no time for that connection to happen, because through the subconscious mind. Quantum mechanics is the physical science description of subconscious experiences, subconscious existence. But then there's a higher dimension, a fifth dimension, right? And so our spirit is a vehicle that's able to traverse that. And the fifth dimension is space. Like right now, we're all stuck in this singular space of this vehicle. The soul, we're stuck in that singular space of that soul. But a spirit is a lot more wispier, right? It doesn't really have any substance to it, because the fifth dimension is space. You can traverse, like there is no limitation in space. You can experience the tree and the soil at the same time, and the air. You know what I mean? You like every interconnectedness. You can experience all of us at the same time. Space is not limited. And the further we get into like those higher dimensions, the harder it is to kind of conceive it and understand it. But the more that you do put your attention on it, then the more you slowly do understand it. Just like you said, like super conscious, what is that? I was there. I was there at a time, and I still don't fully understand super conscious mind, and so, but the more that I traverse these planes, the more that I connect with my spirit, the more that I receive, divine guidance and things, then the more that I understand it, I mean, you may not consciously be aware of how to describe it, the experience, but you're very familiar with the superconscious. Like every dream that you've shared so far has a superconscious symbol in it. I mean, your dad, the one you just shared, the other one had like the elder, and then I think your mom or your aunt was in the first one or something like that. So I'm pretty sure superconscious symbol's been in every single dream that you've ever shared. So you are very connected with your spirit. Somebody says, so what is our source if spirit is a form we use like a soul and body? Even beyond that, our I am, our consciousness. Our consciousness is source. Infinite energy, infinite intelligence, source, some people call it. Infinite being, infinite manifestation. That's the infinite, but our individual ray of the light of the creator is our true self, our I am, our source. Consciousness, essentially.
I got some homework to do. Okay.
You want to understand superconscious deeper, just do a lot of breath work.
Okay. Which is what the breath techniques that you've done with the lives on your site.
Yeah, any breath technique we've ever talked about, any breath technique you ever come across, any breath technique you ever make up on your own. Working with your breath, because I mean, you never know. You might just start breathing one day because it's something that you studied 4 lifetimes ago, and that you still have an internal understanding of, that you're bringing out into the forefront. You know what I mean? And so you may just start up your own breathing technique that has its own properties.
Oh, I forgot about that. We can channel information from different lifetimes to assist us on our journey. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what this is all about. This one. The Akashic records. You know what I mean? In the center of the subconscious mind. Like in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, talks about the halls of Amente. The halls of Mente are the Akashic records. And it says that the halls of Amente are found in the center of the earth, while earth in all holy scriptures and in dreams represents subconscious mind. So, I mean, it's telling you that this is where it's at. And that's in all holy scriptures. Just that one is like very direct in how it describes it. But there's
So,
others that like literally say it. Yeah.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're fine.
I wanted to ask you, so, and I will need to go deep into my subconscious in order to access the Akashic records, which is in the fourth. Does the Akashic records, is it on the fourth plane?
The fourth dimension, yeah. Now,
yeah.
in order to like literally walk into the Akashic records like a actual library, then yeah, that's what you would have to do. But the wisdom's there. Just connecting with your soul, working
Okay.
with your dreams, practicing concentration so you can create more space within your mind to allow more subconscious thoughts to come through. Pretty much just deepening the relationship with your soul in whatever way you make that happen is going to allow that inner wisdom to come to the forefront. You don't necessarily have to like go and check out a book like an actual library. It'll make itself known when you need it.
Okay.
And you can practice intuition all type of different ways. One of my favorites, which I actually bought a pack of index cards to start doing this exercise again, and I just haven't actually written down the things to do it. But yeah, here they go right here. I'll just start it out right now. Hold on one second. Get you a pack of index cards, right? You have to hold it close to my face. And then just form in your mind a really strong image of a cat. Like I hear it purring, meowing. I see like an orange and yellow striped cat. So then I'll hold that image in mind and write down the word cat. Okay. Cat. All right. Now I've infused this physical object with the energy of a cat. Okay, so I set that to the side. Then I'm going to do the same thing with a dog. Okay, dog. Boom. Now I got another one. Now I'm going to do the same thing with Africa, right? Africa. Boom. I'm going to do the same thing with a tree. My attention started getting ahead of myself. I started thinking of the other things I'm going to say next. I really want to pull, make sure, and that's the thing. If you feel like you're distracted, start over. Pull to attention to the mind of a tree. I see a really strong oak tree. It's at like the top of a hill, and you can kind of see the valley below with the nice sunset view. Tree. Okay. Next, I'm gonna do the sun. And I'm holding the attention of the sun, the image of the sun in my mind while I'm writing it, because I'm infusing this card with the energy of the sun, right? So now, and then I'll do it like, I'll get like 25 more cards. I won't stop at cat and dog. I'll also do, monkey, shark, and pick a couple others that are like very distinct from the others. Bird, and then not just Africa, but America, Asia, Europe, Antarctica, and then the sun, the moon, Jupiter, Saturn, and then air, water, fire, earth, and I have until I have like 25 cards with all these things, right? So then I have my stack of cards. I'm not looking at it, but I'll just pick one up. I'll shuffle them up. Shuffle them really good, and then pick one up. Hold on, I already know what the top one is, so let me grab my ones. Okay. Grab one and just hold on to it, hold it in my hand, and just be receptive, because the intuitive mind, the subconscious mind, is receptive. So I have to stop all of the thoughts of my conscious mind, because that's my biggest thing is I have such a powerful like reasoning mind that my conscious mind will sometimes get in the way. So I have to like stop trying to guess and just still my mind. Tree. Hey, tree. Tree. I thought for sure, I was like, I'm gonna fail this. This is gonna be funny. I'm gonna be like 0 for 5. Oh wait, I just saw that one. Because see, my conscious mind was telling me even before I stopped shuffling, my conscious mind was already thinking, son, say son, no matter what comes up, say son when it comes up. I had to stop and chill that out.
How do you can tell the difference though between your intuition versus your, what would you call that?
Yeah.
Your ego?
Like me, for me, it's my imagination. Like, well, it's not my imagination. It's just, I mean, yeah, your ego is associated with the conscious mind, but for me, because of the way I grew up, I was always very highly intuitive. But the way I grew up, I I learned how to convince myself that all of my intuitive thoughts were my imagination, because there's no way that I should be able to know these things. Like if I walk in the room and there's someone there and I just know all these things about them, there's no way I can know these things about this person. So I'm just imagining this shit. I'm making it up. And so growing up like that, it was very hard for me to know what my intuition was. So I had to have a lot of practice of practicing intuition. So it took a lot of practice of when I would think an intuitive thought comes in, I would go and ask questions or find ways to verify whether it was true or not. And things like this, practicing, because with this, if you have 25 of them, right? And every time you get it right, you set it in one pile. Every time you get it wrong, you set it in another pile. And then afterwards, you tally it up. And just like with everything else, I mean, you guys after a month of being here, you're gonna have like 18 notebooks, okay? Because you'll have another notebook, and maybe it's just this little small notepad where you document that day. How many did I get right? How many did I get wrong? Okay, let's do it again. Maybe I don't do it once a day. Do it 10 times in a row. Who cares? However you want to do it. But then you document, and then you can kind of start to see the difference. And so, like for me, the sun was a very clear, like conscious thought. Like it was just the way it felt was a conscious thought. And then I just sat here until boom, the tree came into my mind. But it wasn't like the sun. When the conscious mind thought of the sun, it was like bam in my face. You know what I mean? The tree felt more like a whisper.
Okay.
And so for me, knowing myself and knowing my own feel of my subconscious mind, I knew that was the subconscious thought. And so I said, oh, and that's why I went, oh, tree. It was more, for me, it was more of a relief than anything. Like, oh, okay, great. I didn't fail in front of all these people on the first one. It was funny. But that's, ego there. That thought is ego. Like, oh, I can't, fail in front of these people. Ego. But that ego thought is what drove me to make sure that I had all of my attention on the exercise itself to actually get it right. So using the ego in the highest form to motivate you, to push you forward. I use that motivation to make sure I actually did it correctly and not just kind of went through the steps. But for you, it's going to be the same thing. Just find ways to discover what's an intuitive thought, what's a conscious thought. That's why the documenting is so key, because then you can start to get a feel for which one of these were subconscious thoughts, which ones were conscious thoughts. If you're only getting like 3 or 4 out of 25 correct, then maybe none of them were subconscious thoughts, and you just kind of happen to get 3 or 4 right out of the 25, just out of random what's the word I'm trying to think of, just numbers, the odds. I couldn't think of that word. The odds of it, you're gonna get so many right. But if you get 10 out of 25 right, especially if you get like a string of 6 in a row, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, okay, you were really connected with the subconscious there for a minute. If you get 20 out of 25, there's no way that that was just all guessing. You know what I mean? And so by doing that, you can get a better feel, because you can feel the subconscious thought, how the quality of the thought is different than your everyday conscious thought. Like at the time when you're thinking about a friend, and they're calling you, like you've had that experience, right? Or something of that nature.
Yeah.
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 So the next time that comes up, then just think back to yourself, what was the original thought that I had of that person? What made me start thinking about that person? That is the subconscious thought. The rest were like probably conscious thoughts on the back of it, but what initially made you think of that person, that's the subconscious thought. You know what I mean?
Okay, I get it now. So I would like to say that my intuition speaks to me in the form of visions.
Mhm.
Like it communicates visually to me.
Yeah.
So okay, I got it.
And that's
Well,
another and that's another
for
reason
mine,
why it's good for you to understand the universal language of the mind, because your intuition is the power of the subconscious mind. And our minds communicate in images, so of course you're seeing those images. So the more you can understand that language, then the more you'll understand exactly what that intuitive thought is trying to tell you. Sometimes it's very like upfront, like this person's face, but sometimes you'll have like a sequence of images that turn into a whole vision. And then being able to decipher what that vision is where that'll come in as very key. What were you about to say?
oh no, that's pretty much it. I'm just trying to get used to, identifying my intuition when it's whispering to me and.
Yeah.
But usually it comes in the form of visions. I get a lot of visions, like um a lot. Like I'll be driving just anything, and I just get more of mine in the form of visions.
Mm-hmm. Good. That's so yeah, you already have a good base foundation to start working with, because you can already reflect back and identify the different times when this intuitive thought came through. So you'll be a lot faster at picking this up moving forward from this moment forward. You'll start to realize, oh, that was intuition. You can always trust your intuition. Just like you may not always be able to trust whether it actually was intuition or not, but if it was your intuition, you can trust it 100%. It'll never steer you wrong. Your own soul will never try to trick you, or anything. Your ego will. And so the difference between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind is that the conscious mind is brand new this lifetime. It's very aggressive, and the subconscious mind is intuitive. It's the mind that your soul uses, and the superconscious mind is the mind that your spirit uses. It's the oldest and most wise of all of them. It's your authority. It's been here. It's been around the longest. Your parents are your authority because they've been around the longest. You just got here. You know what I mean? And they've been around for years. Your boss is the authority because they've been around the longest. You just got hired. They've been here for a while. The teacher is the authority because they've been through the educational system and some, and you just got here into third grade. So your spirit has been here plenty. And physical body, conscious mind, you literally just showed up. We've been existing in lifetimes, eons.
I was just about to say eons.
Intuition. Either I thought of your thought or you thought of mine. Something. Perceive the same thought. Nice. Beautiful. All right. Does anyone else have anything to share or anything before we wrap it up? No. Any of
Quick,
the other? Yeah.
quick question. Yeah, I took a shower and came back. I was sort of the back end of that.
Nice.
I want to clarify something just so I understand it.
Mhm.
Whenever we're doing the concentration exercises and sort of, I guess, throughout, but specifically when we're doing the concentration exercises, when how can I phrase this? I get my question would be, whenever those thoughts come along, it's okay to be aware of those thoughts. Or let me ask you this: should whenever we're doing the concentration exercises, should we try to quiet our mind completely, and just focus on whatever and quiet our mind completely, or it's okay to be aware of those thoughts, but ultimately focus specifically on the flame or the water or whatever we're trying to focus on?
The primary thing is to not worry about any of it. Don't worry about any of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Like, don't try to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because the more you try to do it, then the more you're gonna not be, your attention's gonna be pulled from the candle, because then your attention's gonna be on yourself. Am
Mm-hmm.
I doing this correctly? Am I doing this the right way? If you're sitting there for 10 minutes marking something down, you're doing it. You know what I mean? You're doing it
Okay.
right.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're
Okay.
if you're carving out 10 minutes out of your day to do the exercise, you're doing it right. You know what I mean? The progress is gonna come, you know, just like, you know, like when you're lifting weights, yeah, it's gonna be best to have proper form, but you could have the worst form and do a bench. You could do a bench press like this. You know what I mean? Those muscles are still building. You show up every day and do it like that. Now, if you put too much weight on and keep doing it like this, you might injure yourself. But you know, you just have lightweight. You can do a bench press like this. I don't know how you do it like this, but if you did with the worst form, if you did it every day, you're gonna get stronger, right?
Right. Right. Okay. And
And
then
if
that's
and if you're and the more that you fight with it, the more that you try to ward something off and struggle with it, you know, fight with it, then the harder it's going to be. You know, the more of a struggle it's going to be. And so
mm-hmm.
yeah, just relax and allow it to be whatever it is. If whatever the distraction is that comes up, it's a distraction. It doesn't matter what kind of distraction, doesn't matter where it came from, doesn't matter how you got there. Just acknowledge it when you were distracted and put your attention on the flame, and then try to hold your attention on the flame as long as you can. Oh, I'm already distracted by the time I even got my attention back there. Make a mark, take a deep breath, put my attention back on there. Oh shit, I'm already distracted again. All right, take a deep breath. Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
distracted again. But that time it was twice as long. Okay, great. I'm getting somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, okay, I'm following. Yeah, because I just was thinking about that, and sort of even the visualization is just kind of like, as you were sort of talking about, you know, the conscious thoughts versus subconscious thoughts, and I guess was just thinking like, it always seems like I said, no matter what in the background, at least for me personally, I can never. I mean, and I know that it's like you can't really shut off your thoughts per se, but it's kind of like I'm at this point, I can be aware of something, and like I said, it can be doing whatever it's doing this thing, and
Yeah.
I'm not focused on it. It's kind of like it is what it is. I'm
Yeah.
focused on the flame or focused on visualizing the flower or whatever I'm doing in that moment.
Yeah.
And in general, as I said, to take that practice into regular life, sort of being present, you know. So I'm trying to focus on the breath, focus on, you know, being present in my body, no matter what it's in the background or whatever, you know. And I would think that, at least for me, that's sort of what translates, you know, from those exercises that I do for 5 to 10 minutes. I'm also doing, in general, you know, watching the breath and all that kind of stuff throughout the day, you know, to sort
Yeah.
of get a little
Yeah.
more
Just do it.
strength.
I mean, you guys saw with the tree just now. Oh, I don't know if you were watching it, but I had to stop for a second, and I took a deep breath, and then it came to me. But that only happened because of the years of doing the same thing with the candle exercise of every single time. Just as soon as I'm distracted, make my mark, and then I would take a breath, put my attention where I want it, you know. And so for me, that breath like that in that particular way helps me to just still my mind, and then I can receive from the subconscious mind, you know, so I can create space within my mind. So, I mean, it's just naturally happens. It's like just
Yeah, it's like pretty much again, it's like the grounding.
yeah.
And I say I definitely want to tap into the subconscious. So like I was catching the back end. I saw some of the flashcards and stuff, but it was kind of off.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, definitely very insightful.
yeah, absolutely. And so that's why I was saying, the going through the motions is going to do so much. Just making your tick mark, taking your deep breath, and putting your attention on it. Continuing that every day is you'll have the results to where it might take a month or 2 months from now, but you'll start to then realize what that space is like. And then once you have a little bit of that space, then it'll be really easy. Well, not really easy, but it'll be a lot easier to then incorporate the willpower to extend that space out. Like, do you ever meditate?
Yeah, I try to meditate daily, honestly. I'm trying to meditate.
So when you come out of meditation, you can tell the difference of the moment you open your eyes to the last moment when you closed your eyes and started the meditation, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That space that you're in, that is meditation. Whatever activity you did to get there is not meditation. That's just an activity. But once you complete that that is meditation. And so then the key is then, now that you've gotten to that space, using your willpower to hold yourself into that energetic space for as long as you can as you move throughout your day. Is the exact same thing, just like your candle exercise. Once you get your attention where you want it to be, then hold your attention there as long as you can. And so you can practice the same thing with the willpower. Once you're done with the meditation, take into account, like really feel the space that you're in. And then before you even stand up, just like, okay, I'm going to see how long I can hold this. And then stand up and take your time, going through and go in and make your breakfast or get in your car or just stare out the window, whatever the hell you want to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that because I saw I think one of your videos again it's talking about sort of the state of being, and so I try to I think about like sort of equilibrium. It's like I'm trying to stay in that sort of sweet spot,
Yeah.
I'm actually getting a phone call, so I'm gonna hop on
all right.
next week with y'all. Thanks for the insightful information, and hope y'all have a good rest of your night.
All right, peace. All right. Does anyone else have anything they want to share or comment on or ask? All right. Well, with that, I will tell all of y'all peace. I'm gonna get prepared for my own astral journeys and energetic rejuvenation and revitalization this evening. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Yeah, and keep throwing things out in the Discord as you have them. Any questions or dreams, and whenever I have the space and time, I'll definitely get to them. I appreciate it, y'all. Appreciate it. Yeah, see you next week. Oh, the Discord. Who is this? iPhone. Who's iPhone right here? That way I can make sure I. Oh, okay, Guinevere. Yeah. I'll resend you. I'll re-email you the link to get into the Discord. Is an app for like chatting. Like it's unique though because you can have all these different channels and things that you can jump in and out of and have different conversations. So it's just an app that we all kind of chat together and talk together throughout the week. So yeah, you can. A lot of resources are really only available in there. So like the link for all of these Zooms is in the Discord. So I'll send you right as soon as I hop off here. I will send you the link in the email. And when I was copying everything over to send out the emails for this, I realized why you weren't able to get the initial email, which I eventually sent to you. So I hope maybe you didn't get that. Did you get the second email I got? Because I got the email from the Stand store saying you reached out to them saying you never got anything after signing up. But it was when I went to switch over all the emails into the thing to send out today's email for this link, it said Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So the stuff for the Discord chat is in there, but I'll resend it right now. But yeah, the email came in as your first part of your email and then at gnail.com with an N as in November instead of an M. And so as soon as I saw that, I said, "Oh, this is probably why she didn't get the initial email." So I'll send that over to you now. I'll actually go back and check and see. I think if your phone number was in there also, then I'll just text it to you as well. That way you definitely have it. All right. All right. But take care, everybody. Peace, peace.